Hello, everybody.
Yo, what's up?
Welcome to the Anime Mystics podcast. I'm Roman.
I'm Steven Sanosuke-sama.
And, this should probably be a pretty short episode.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot to talk about, but there are still some things.
Yes, what episode number is this?
I think it's 28.
28? Episode 28, but it's episode 22 of Anime Mystics Stay at Home series.
Yes.
So, we will do our best to entertain and educate from the comfort of our homes.
Yeah.
Roman and I are roughly 6 feet apart. So
Roughly.
we are still practicing social distancing.
He's at one end of the table, I'm at the other.
Yes, we encourage you to do the same as well. Be safe.
Exactly. Especially since they may, in the States anyway, I don't know about everywhere else, extend the lockdown.
Yeah.
Like I just read today, they might extend the lockdown in at least the Bay. I'm pretty sure it's going to be all of California, though.
Right.
Till the end of April.
Right.
Starting back up in May. But we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
The article I read said only schools, but they might extend it to workplaces as well because, why are you just going to have everybody go to work and start spreading things, right?
Right.
Even the small businesses like the one I work at where there's only like 12 people. But they're like cramped in a small building, so.
Oh, yeah, that's just asking for it.
Yeah. But yeah, so far it's been pretty kind of productive.
Good. Yeah.
Like I've been doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
I'm still doing the reactions. I just released a video of me playing the first parts of the Lost Belt for FGO.
Nice.
I've been doing still banner roll videos.
Nice.
I'll probably roll for Anastasia or Anastasia, whichever one you prefer to call her. But I gotta wait till I get some money.
Yeah. Yeah. Is your job still paying you? Did they still give you a check?
Well, I put it in for my PTO.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And then if that stimulus check thing comes in, I heard it was supposed to be like around the 6th. Then it was supposed to go direct deposit based on your tax information.
Correct. Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with that as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to hold my breath that it'll be on the 6th exactly.
Right.
Who knows when they'll pay you. The government is quick to take your money, but never quick to give you money.
Correct.
It could be the middle of April for all I know.
Right. Which is what I heard. I heard middle towards the end because it could take 2-3 weeks from after they signed it. And they signed it, last week?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, if they could get it by the 6th, I would be impressed. But I'm with you. I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
Yeah. That's what Trump said, and I don't believe anything he really says. He backtracks and lies and, like a normal politician.
Yeah, but he's all over the place. He's like, he just fires from the hip, says whatever, the first thing that comes to his mind. It's like, it reminds me of Ron Burgundy reading from the teleprompter.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, who put that question mark there? You know that Trump reads everything on the teleprompter? So, yeah, that's, yeah. But, yeah. That's,
other than that.
Go for it.
Oh, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, it's all over the place, man, because, so as we all know, I was in Japan, actually right after the last podcast.
Yeah.
And now Japan's about to lock down. Tokyo already did. And I don't know if I sent them to Roman, but Sankaku Complex was sharing photos of the empty store shelves in Japan. We're already all used to it. We all, know the toilet paper memes and all of that. But to see Japan do it, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was actually able to find toilet paper the other day.
Yeah. Everything seems, in terms of like panic buying, it seems to be fizzling out. It sounds like people are finally stocked up.
And the normal people will be able to get the stuff they need.
Right. They got their necessities, and for the most part, the bulk of the shopping is done. So now it's just kind of like the smaller stuff.
Because I saw your friend post a photo of water that was still on the shelves.
Yeah. Yes.
And like I said, it was actually Charmin toilet paper too. So it was like good toilet paper.
Yeah.
The only thing left I need to get really that's any good is paper towels.
Oh.
I got store brand, but
Yeah.
for now.
I did see some in my store, but it was only like a 4-pack. I don't know how big or bulk you need it, but they're out there. Mm-hmm. So
I usually get the big 8-pack of Bounty.
Okay.
That's like 2 rolls or 3 rolls in one or something like that.
Right.
Because it lasts a lot longer.
Right.
That's all me and my grandmother need is something like that, and we can last like a month or so with that. Because we don't use a whole lot of paper towels.
Right.
So I just need to buy paper towels once a month, and I'm good. So everybody else, try to learn from us.
Yeah. I found success going first thing in the morning, right as soon as they open. I was able to get it. I went to a Walmart, and it was so funny because they tucked away the paper towels and the toilet paper in the gardening section, and they had like 7 dudes like running security, and they were the ones actually handing it out. And they made you like line up and go all the way around, and they were like, one. You didn't even have a choice on which brand. They were just passing it to you. So
just whatever you got.
hey man, yeah man, it's the apocalypse. I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah.
So,
like just be happy you got the
right. But yeah, no, it shows that to an extent, like you just mentioned that no one trusts, or politicians are always lying, so that's why no one trusted all the stores.
Right.
Like Walmart and Target were saying, guys, we have plenty to go around. Don't panic buy, and no one listened to them.
No, everybody was still panic buying.
Everyone was still cleaning the shelves.
Did you see that video of that dude working at the toilet paper factory?
No.
He's like driving around. There's like pallets and pallets of toilet papers.
Oh my god.
And he's like laughing because everybody's buying it all up. And he's like going to his coworkers, "Hey, you think we're going to run out of toilet paper?" And they're like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, just keep buying it, guys. You're giving me overtime. That's good for me. So just keep buying the toilet paper."
Oh my god. Damn. I they told me at my job. Well, they were like, okay, we have all this extra work. There might be 300 things that need to get done. And I was all like, yo, so that means we'll get some overtime, right? I came back after lunch. Good news, everybody. We don't need to do that anymore. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'll do it. Maybe some overtime, right? And they're like, nah, never mind. We're good. Yeah, that's what I thought.
We didn't think of that.
Yeah. That project went away real fast. So, man. I'm glad I got out. I went in there, and, the first time I went to Japan, it was just because I could. The second time, though, was because I really wanted to talk to my homie over there, because I want to make a bigger, longer trip in December.
Right.
And so I wanted to talk to him and see if he's cool with that. And kind of, if he needs to, or if he wants to take time, I should say. He could put in his request and whatnot, and he's kind of and fill him in on what I'm trying to do and see what he thought about it. Right. And so the second time I went, I really wanted to touch base with him. So that's why I went, and it was just really good timing that I got in and got out, because here's the other thing too. Those flights, they were about a third full. Like there's 300 seats in economy class. They were going out with like 100 seats sold. And in the front, in first class, there's like 60 first class seats because they consolidated first and business class into just one class.
Right.
And they call it business first. So out of 60 first class seats, only like 7 or 8 of those were being sold. People weren't even using miles to upgrade.
Wow.
So it was like those planes were literally flying at a loss. They were losing money on those planes, on those flights.
What's the amount of gas they got to put in those things? And...
Yeah. So it was, it was only a matter of time. And even, again, when I was over there were so many foreigners and tourists. It was like, it looked like it never even stopped.
Right.
So, and again, at that time, 3 weeks ago, everything was still business as usual over there. So, they finally had enough, I guess, because they caught like 40 more cases. And they were like, all right, we got to pull the plug on this.
Before it gets even worse.
Yeah.
We're a small island.
Yeah.
We can't handle this.
Yeah. They said that.
Coming in.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it was I saw a video though where they were protesting outside a hotel. I think it was in Shinjuku, and it was some poor like white dude coming out, and they were just all like, "Go home!" I was like, "Wow, fucking weeb, go home." No, yeah, I'm with you. Go home, foreigners. It was Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but I was like, nah, when I was out there, everybody seemed pretty cool, but I guess that was before, you instigate a lockdown and then everyone flips out. So,
yeah.
That'll change the mood real fast. But no, actually, now that I think about it, everyone's still pretty happy, everyone's, the customs guys were all looking at my passport like, man, you come to Japan a lot. And I was like, yeah.
I mean, if I can.
Yeah, I was like, they think I'm a drug dealer or something. I'm smuggling things in. They checked my luggage both times too, and I'm like, yeah, no, you guys just saved me so much money over a convention dealer's hall.
Yeah.
So, it's like for what the money that I can spend in like at Fanime's dealer hall or Anime Expo's dealer's hall, I can literally do a trip into Japan. So, it was everybody was still cool when I was over there. So I don't know. It was really really weird. I'll remind me to show you that video because I don't know if they were cussing or not, but it was kind of like, wow, it was very un-Japanese. I always figured that it took a lot to rile them up, so it caught me off guard that they were protesting a hotel or a dude coming out of the hotel. So I was like, wow. But yeah, and then they panic buy, and now they're shut down. So, my guy still hasn't gotten back to me because I did shoot him a message to check in on him, but he works. He does insurance in Tokyo. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's office. He's is it the
essentials?
Yeah, the essentials. But what was the term that they call him? Salaryman.
Oh,
salaryman. Yeah, he's a salaryman. So, I do hope he doesn't get Tanya'd though. That would suck.
Oh yeah.
Or slime. Slime is another bad one. That was pretty fucked up too. That was pretty messed up. So please don't get slimed. He's gonna message me like, please destroy my hard drive.
Oh wow.
But yeah.
Well, hopefully by December it's all worked out and people can start going back over there.
Yeah,
and you can go on your trip.
Yeah, we are seeing some positive changes. They said as of last night and this morning that they are getting more confident about the anti-malaria drug, and apparently taking plasma from people that have recovered, and actually in like doing transfusions or infusions of those people into sick people is also showing results.
Okay.
So we are making headways, but I think that events all the way till about June or maybe the 4th of July, I think are pretty much donezo. This has come up a couple of times. Us here in the Bay Area, California, Northern California Bay Area, we're essentially waiting for Fanime to pull the plug. Yeah. But I think what it is liability issues. If Fanime is the one that comes out and cancels, they're on the hook for everything. Because they entered into contracts and negotiations, and they have to get the unions that come and set up the hall and all of that. So if they pull the plug, they're on the hook for all of that.
Right.
Versus if Santa Clara County or San Jose, the city, pulls the plug, then Fanime can wash their hands of it and be like, we didn't do anything. The city shut us down. So, they can go and they can get their money back and recoup any potential losses and any contract violations, because they had guests coming too.
Right.
But
I think they were still announcing guests.
Yeah, like a week or 2 weeks before the lockdown happened. Yeah, they announced to somebody else. And they just were like, yeah, no. So yeah, they're just waiting. That's why they've also been, as a matter of fact, after that announcement, they haven't said anything.
Yeah.
They've been very quiet because I think they're just biding their time.
I think the last thing I saw, they did an update saying that they were just monitoring the situation.
There you go.
Seeing how things go, and then they'll make a decision later.
Yeah, and people have preemptively already been canceling. So canceling flights, canceling hotels.
I may skip this year too, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I mean I'm going to be in the swap meet hall, and everybody's pretty close together.
Yeah.
So.
I mean that's understandable. Like I said, I'm literally middle of the road. I don't blame anybody that wants to, take care of themselves, and especially, they don't want to pass it on, because that's the biggest threat. Yeah. Is you might be fine, but you're also a carrier. Mm-hmm. And I understand and respect that. I'm not giving you grief. And at the same time, too, I'm also like, if you're the adventurous type, it's YOLO. You have one life to live. So if you want to take that $80 round trip to Japan and try your luck, I'm going to say all the more power to you, man. Do your research, line up your eggs in a row, but know that it's unpredictable right now. So
yeah,
if you want to stay home and hunker down and take care of yourselves, I say power to you. If you want to explore the planet, hey man, you only live once.
Maybe go wipe out all the bats.
There you go. There you go, man. Hey, I heard they give like 50 experience and 3 gold.
Yeah.
They're low level. Well, if they're these dangerous over there in that region of China, they might actually be leveled up bats. They might be higher level, maybe level 50. So they might be 500 experience and 20 gold.
Because you're not just dealing with them,
Right.
you're dealing with the virus.
Right, and they have poison damage too. So bring your antidotes. So that's yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's
I always see
crazy.
people talking about how you can't joke about it yet. And I'm like, you can joke about anything.
You know, yeah, it's, because you know what, that's an interesting perspective too. Because it's like, well, what's the alternative? You get into the fetal position and you just cry about it. And I have seen people on social media talking about their breakdowns, and I'm like, I'm literally in the government. You know, I work as part of local government. If I break down and start crying, what are the people, the citizens that depend on me, and the taxpayers that pay my paycheck, what are they going to expect of me? You know,
Right.
I can't. And on top of that, I do have my family, and I do have friends. They had like a toothache. I ran them out some potatoes from the grocery store and Tylenol because they didn't want to leave the house. So I went out and I got it, and I drove it to their house and delivered it.
Right.
And it's like, what are you gonna do? You know, there are people that will have breakdowns, and there are people that will rise up and meet the situation. And again, it's like I said with me going to Japan, I went in eyes wide open. I took meds, I took hand sanitizer. The second time I went and got a flu shot.
Yep.
And so I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. And so you do what you can, you protect yourself to protect others, and when others need help, you help them. And in the case of having a sense of humor, that's a coping mechanism.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
If the alternative is to just be afraid of something because you don't understand it, but the other is, you know what, I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to let it hold me back.
Yep.
You know, so and as a result, look, they're on the verge of potentially finding some at least ways to slow it down,
Yeah.
which is important. Slowing it down is a path to recovery. So that's, you know, what can you do? You can be afraid and do nothing, or you can go out there and do something. Anything that helps.
Exactly.
So
Even if that's just staying in.
yeah, hey, you know.
I mean, that is what we're supposed to be doing, right?
Right, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
if you do have to go out, just make sure you're safe.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and so no, I'm completely okay with Corona-chan jokes and humor and all of that, and you know, it's
That's one thing I haven't seen a whole lot of lately. The Corona-chan anime girl memes.
oh, for reals?
Like, I've seen them like when it first started, but then I haven't seen any since.
I've seen a bunch. I've seen art, I've seen fan art, I've seen Rule 34. Jeez, you guys.
Already?
And cosplay, yeah. Yeah, I've seen all over
I think
the
I
place.
saw it around the first week.
Yeah.
And then after that, I haven't seen much.
Yeah, people are voicing their opinions, which makes some people kind of shy away, but it hasn't stopped. It's just kind of like shifted away from like people's main timelines to just kind of like underground or not being shared as frequently. But it's still out there. People are still with their sense of humor because, you know.
I'm expecting to see a bunch of them once this whole thing kind of blows over a bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like, I'll start seeing all the fan art later.
oh yeah. Yeah.
But right now, I haven't seen much except for like the first week.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you know, take care of yourselves. Take this time to do things you've never done before. And hey, you know, YOLO applies to being in lockdown too. You know, you only live once, so learn something new, man. Learn a new skill. Read a book.
You know, that thing that has words in it and no pictures.
Hey, remember, Evo is in August, so technically that's 4 months to get good. Go pick up a fighting game, start playing. Online hasn't stopped. And Grand Blue Fantasy has apparently been doing really, really well.
Has it?
Yeah, I think they said they shipped like 20,000 units in Japan or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So, for, you know, it's not Street Fighter, it's not Tekken, so and its Arc System works, and it's not Dragon Ball, so Apparently, it's been doing very, very well. That's something else that I saw too on Crunchyroll. That the I guess they're gonna do a remake of the second season of Grand Blue with the female main character Digita.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, I don't know. Are we done with Corona-chan? Are we gonna start talking anime now?
Hey, we're just kind of doing whatever.
Okay, we're just spitballing. All right.
Oh, what is this?
So, essentially what they did, and I love this so much, and I always use this as like the tentpole of my argument. So, in the first season of Grand Blue Fantasy, they put out an OVA at the end of the first season. So the first season ended, and then they put like an OVA where they used the anime was all following Gron, the boy or the male main character.
Right.
And then in this OVA they used Digita, the female main character, and they basically referenced the events that happened in the first season she was always there the whole time. And they're just like, remember that one time we fought that thing? And she's like, oh yeah, that was such a mess. And they enacted the same scene, but instead of Gron, they used Digita. And it was just kind of like she was there the entire time. And it was just kind of like, what? And so I was like, that's... And then they did the same thing, too, with the second season, where the Halloween special used Digita instead of Gron. And so now what they're doing is they're doing the second season again, but it's an alternate take where it uses Digita instead of Gron. So it's like, this is great. And I'm like, that's what I keep saying. FGO needs to do that. They keep using male Fujimaru Ritsuka, and it's like, dude, just use Gudako. Come on.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that in the very first FGO, the OVA movie, that was basically Singularity F.
Right.
In the beginning, when they actually showed the classroom, or at least where the main hall, or at least where they were all gathered together, you actually did see Gudako in the stand.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she is in the background. So you saw Gudako. So it's just kind of like if they did Solomon, which got announced,
yeah.
And instead of male Fujimaru, they just used female Fujimaru. It wouldn't even matter. And I think that would be great because it's like, come on. That's what they did with the Epic of Remnant mangas, where it's like Shinjuku and Agartha use male Gudao or Fujimaru, and then Salem and Shimosa use female Gudako or Fujimaru.
Right.
So it's like, and when you think about the dynamic too, especially with like Musashi and her like big sister archetype, it really makes more sense to use the female. It really makes a lot more sense. And they did all those things where it's like super cutesy faces between like Musashi and Gudako. So
yeah,
it really, really worked. And so yeah, so it's like little sister looks up to big sister, and little sister wants to be strong and capable as big sister. So it really worked in that regard. So yeah.
Nice.
So I think that's what they should. I would hope that they should do, or they will do. They did say in a couple of the live streams though that they want to animate Lost Belts.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, but I'm like, no, dude, do Shinjuku. Do Shinjuku and Shimosa, man. Those are really popular too. I didn't know that Shimosa was that popular. I knew Shinjuku was super, super popular. But apparently Shimosa is pretty strong too. I think it's like 13th or something, in 13th place.
Out of all of them?
Yeah, because they ranked all of the storylines and all the storylines and all the events. And Shimosa was like in 13th place or something. Yeah. Okay. So, because obviously the top three is always like...
I think I voted for it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I voted for it. When they were, I voted for CCC, Seraph, Shinjuku, and Shimosa on the most recent survey.
Yeah.
I was like, those are my top three. Well, by the way, all three of which got mangas. So there was like the Fate Extra manga, and then there's the Fate Extra CCC manga, which was based off the PSP game.
Right.
And then they did CCC Foxtail, which was just Tamamu was the main character instead of Nero. And then the Seraph event came out, and then they made a manga based off of that. And I was like, all right. So...
Are these translated?
Scanlated. But official releases, nothing yet.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I think most of the Epic of Remnant ones are still ongoing in Japan.
Oh, really?
And I think they're all congruent right now. They're all running at the same time. I think...
Oh, there's a different
Yeah, they're four
Art
different.
artists?
So they're four different mangas, all by four different artists.
Okay,
So I think the only one that's not going on is Agartha.
that one's done.
I don't think that one's even started.
Oh,
Yeah, the other one, Shinjuku, is out. Shimosa is out, and Shimosa is actually really deep because I think they just got to Shuten and Raiko.
oh, so they're just about done.
Yeah, they're really deep. And Salem is like kind of in the beginning, kind of in the middle.
I liked Salem. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, but you kind of like that style, don't you? Like that horror stuff, though.
Me?
Yeah.
I guess in anime, it doesn't really bug me that much. But in like movies and stuff like that, I don't like horror movies. But I guess I do kind of like anime horror stuff because it's not scary to me.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big wuss when it comes to horror, so.
Yeah, you should do Let's Plays of Resident Evil then with Nemesis.
With Nemesis.
Yeah, it just punches you with no invincibility frames. So he just stun locks you and just kills you.
No.
Just like I remembered on PlayStation. So,
Wow.
Oh man. But yeah, that's one of the things I hope to do this week on spring break and on lockdown is to knock out Grand Blue Fantasy. Especially since it's all out right now, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go knock it out.
Cool.
So yeah, and I hope so because on top of that too, Grand Blue Fantasy came out before FGO, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like FGO kind of stole some elements from Grand Blue Fantasy, but now it's like in terms of storytelling, obviously FGO just destroys Grand Blue Fantasy. So now it's kind of like, all right, Grand Blue, now you should take some storytelling elements from FGO, and kind of there you go.
Yeah.
And FGO should take the interchangeable main characters. And I'm not saying you can completely X out male Fujimaru, but I'm all, give him equal airtime, man. Split it up. Come on. So
Yeah, switch them out every once in a while.
what sucks though is that when they did the FGO Learning with Manga for the New Year's special, Gudako and Gudao were voiced by Chio-chan from Azumanga Daioh.
Oh, really?
And she did both characters, though. She did Gudao and Gudako. So
Wow.
I don't know if they should call her back to do Gudako, but in a not Call of Satan voice. So that actually started before that, because at FanFest, when they had the Gudako Kimiguri, the mascot, she was the voice of that, too. That's when Gudako first got her voice.
Oh, really?
And no one knew who it was. They were like, who's doing Gudako's voice? Because Maya Sakamoto did the Da Vinci, and then Takashi Die did the Mashu. But we were like, who's the voice for Gudako? And then when the special came out, that's when they were like, oh yeah, it's been Chio-chan this whole time. I call her Chio-chan because I don't know her name, I'm sorry.
Right.
But yeah, she was Chio in Azumanga Daioh. And so yeah, and then she did both. Gudao, there were scenes with Gudao, like when he was hitting on Astolfo.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was the rest of it was Gudako. Animated by A1 Productions too. Go figure.
Nice. I have to look those up. I haven't seen really any of those, except for the one where I think Jan gets stabbed in the head by
Jack.
That's the only one I've seen.
Yeah. It's just so casual about it too. Oh man. Yeah. But yeah, so Grand Blue Fantasy is on my list. Boku Hero, I told Roman before this started, I didn't even know it was still going.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was still going.
I still need to catch up, and I already told somebody in the comments that I haven't stopped watching it.
Okay.
So I gotta start catching up to it again. Probably after I'm done with Magia Record, which just got a second season.
Nice. I should probably knock that out too. I have a list I wrote down. I'm like, all these things I need to do. And it's like, I think that you hype yourself up too much because it's like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do it. And then you sit down and you're like, all right, I'm ready. And then you're like, I don't feel like doing any of this.
Yeah, I get like that a lot.
You just lose your motivation. And you're like, hey, I think I'm just going to watch dumb things on YouTube today.
Yeah. That was basically me when I was working. I'd be like, I'm going to go and record this and this today. And then I get into the front of the computer. I'm like, ooh, try not to laugh.
Yeah.
Or like a scary story video or something, which isn't even scary.
No. You know that thing I tagged you in for Awa Yuki's birthday? That was a try not to laugh. So basically, I learned about these guys from a friend of mine. She actually lives like right next to me at my house. She actually watches these guys, and it was like for New Year's they would do these New Year's specials where their whole thing was a punishment game, and it was usually try not to laugh.
Right.
So for that scene, that's what it was. They were like, all right, the boss is gonna come in here, and the boss turned out to be 11-year-old Aoi Yuki, and she's just being like a yakuza like crime boss. And then that's why the one dude, he couldn't use like this little girl's talking all this smack. He couldn't even hold it. He couldn't even hold it in. So
Wow.
yeah, that's so funny that you did a try not to laugh, because that's literally what that was. That whole clip, that whole scene was try not to laugh with 11-year-old Aoi Yuki, the yakuza crime boss. And I meant to write that too when I tagged you in it. It was like, dude, you see her now, and she's kind of like this rapscallion Hellraiser.
Yeah.
She punches people using the Capcom 3-button system, jab, medium, and fierce punch. And then she spanks you in the ass with a paper fan. Are you really surprised that 11 years old she's talking smack to these grown-ups? And it's like, at the same time, too, it's also an attribute to her acting talent, that at 11 years old, she's doing all of this, and it's like, wow. And then she was in like one of the Power Rangers shows too. I think like in her late teens to early 20s. Yeah, like I think between like 17 to 21. I think. So she was in Sentai too.
Nice.
Yeah. So she did like a whole range before she started doing primarily anime. But yeah, she was always a little Hellraiser. So, yeah. So don't feel bad watching Try Not to Laughs, man. They'll get you. They're addicting.
Yeah. It's crazy how many there are. And some of them aren't even funny.
Yeah. Some of them, like, how try not to laugh. More like try to make me laugh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I know I mentioned that to you too, but it was like we had that string of birthdays last week where it started with Sakura Tanji's birthday, so Cardcaptor Sakura and Nero, and then it became Aoyuki's birthday, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah. And then it became Kawasumi's birthday, and it's like, well, what the hell, man? Everybody was apparently born in the last week of March. So it's like that's a very, very popular week right now.
I think I saw today was Saber's voice actress.
Yeah, Kawasumi.
Yeah, that's who you just brought up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ayako Kawasumi.
Because I don't know names. That's why I was like,
yeah,
Saber.
Yeah, yes, Artoria.
So yeah.
She's been in a lot of stuff. It's just, Saber is like the one she's unfortunately been typecasted in. Apparently she was in like Girls on Panzer, and she was Hinako in King of Fighters, who was this Russian high school girl who was obsessed with sumo. And it was like, what? And she did the voice for that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
obsessed with sumo.
Obsessed with, and her whole fighting style was sumo style. But she's just like a normal teenager, so it was like, okay, so she's like 17 years old, and she's Russian, and she's obsessed with sumo, like Japanese culture and sumo. So it's like, all right.
It's almost like what's her name from Dumbbell, only not obsessed with sumo.
Tina.
Was it Xena?
Boyd?
Yeah, Boyd.
Yeah. The one voiced by Ibaraki.
Yeah. Kind of like her, only doesn't sound like she.
Gina Boyd. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like her a bit.
Yeah. I was right. What was I looking? I was looking at Hibiki's voice actress, and then I was looking, I guess, at like the voice list for Dumbbell, and then I found the dude that did Barnold.
Oh.
I was like, I didn't even know he got his own voice actor and everything, his own listing. I was like, I don't know if this is something you should credit, And I don't know if you actually saw like Arnold's videos too, because people were giving celebrities crap because some of them were being kind of disingenuous about how they're dealing with the lockdown, and some of them were all like, "Man, I'm so sad and bored here in my mansion." And then Schwarzenegger puts out his video from his hot tub and his cigar, and he's just all like, "Stay at home. Don't be Bach," or whatever. I don't know. But he's basically got his shades on and his cigar. And I'm like, you know what? This This is more like, if you're going to be a jackass about it, at least be funny. Remember what we were just saying? Having a sense of humor. Yeah. So it's all like, we know that you guys have more money than you can ever potentially spend. So, at least entertain us. You're supposed to be doing that as actors. So I actually was kind of I respect Arnold for doing that. Getting in his hot tub and just being like, hey, it sucks, but we'll get through it together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just that I have a hot tub.
I'm going to cry in my hot tub. I'm going to be bored in my hot tub. So, I can give that, but Barnold. Not to be confused with Arnold, all right? Two separate guys. Don't get them confused, man. Don't do that. How could you?
Yeah, they're completely different.
Mind you, Barnold was in Commando, the same as Arnold, who was in Commando. I couldn't even. What's funny too is and when they made fun of Commando, the monkey in the original Commando, that was Alyssa Milano.
Yeah.
So it's like you replaced Alyssa Milano with the chimpanzee. I'm sorry. Oh, Dumbbell was so great. So
needs a second season.
It does, and apparently it was at Farouz Ai, the voice actress for Hibiki. Right. I guess she also just debuted in Azur Lane.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, now she's one of the more recent ship girls, I guess, or she's an upcoming ship girl. So yeah, she's getting more and more work. So props to her.
It's not one of the Russian.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a Japanese ship.
Okay.
So it's just that it's funny because she did Hibiki and then she did Shonagon in FGO, but they were basically like the same character. Like it's literally just Hibiki in FGO. It's the same personality, same high energy. So it's like, oh, she typecast already. Yeah, and I don't know about the personality of her in Ship Girls in Azur Lane, but we'll find out. Her in real life though, she's actually a bodybuilder, or at least I don't know. I don't think she's. Well, she is a bodybuilder because she is associated with one of the
pretty
gyms.
Muscular.
Yeah,
I've seen photos.
Yeah, and then when she was lifting what's her face?
Yeah.
Gina Boyd. It was just kind of like wow, and it was like. Normally, that's not like I'm not really too big or too super huge on like short hair, but I'll be damned if I won't say she makes a damn good argument for the whole thing.
Right.
So she's very well maintained. So props to her for doing everything, for the voice acting, the bodybuilding, the weightlifting, all of that. Good to her. And she's like half Japanese, half Egyptian, I think.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So interesting mix, but she makes it work, and so she's definitely one of the ones that I say keep an eye out for. You'll be seeing her doing a lot more. And we all know that season 2 of Dumbbell is coming. It's coming.
Or at least an OVA soon.
Oh, well, yeah, because the Blu-rays should be coming out. So there should be an OVA or a special, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
when was it that was getting an OVA soon? Oh, was it Orisuki?
Yeah, well, it has to.
They're getting an OVA.
They literally broke the fourth wall and said, we're going to continue this in an OVA. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just finished that. So
okay.
Like last week, I only had 4 episodes. So I was like, I might as well just finish it off.
Just knock it out, yeah.
I got all this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one I got to finish off is Azur Lane.
Is it? It's completely done, right?
Yeah, it's done now.
Okay.
Yeah, it finished last week, I think.
Okay. Because they remember they stopped and they were like, yeah, we're going to improve the quality or whatever, or was it they were just going to stop showing them on TV and just finish it on Blu-ray or something?
Well, I know it was supposed to pick up again this month. I don't know if they showed it on TV.
Okay.
But I know from what I saw of that episode that made them say, we're going to stop for a while. It was pretty horrible.
Oof.
And the artist was even like, I half-assed it. It's like, nobody's watching this, so why should I even bother?
Wow. And people were watching. I was watching it. So I do have a complaint because... and you saw it too when I tagged you in the Kaguya-sama season 2, and they're all putting it on Funimation.
Yeah.
And it's really starting to irritate me. And then everyone makes the argument, right, where they're all like, "Oh, stop pirating anime, don't download anime, support the stream sites and all that." And it's like, okay, so what's the stream site? Funimation. Ah, God. And it's all like, regardless of their politics, we don't even need to talk about the politics. Look at how they treat their staff. You know, they're all liars and backstabbers, and they're in it for themselves, and the fake virtue signaling. It's garbage. It's a mess, and it's like, I don't care. And on top of that too, to make it even worse, it's all coming from their dubbing. Mm-hmm. Something that the majority of people don't even like or care about. And you know what's it? Oh man, hot take warning, man. This is a hot take warning. I was watching Arcade Law on Friday night because again, lockdown. Where am I gonna go? Right. And so they had one of the dudes from Anime Outsiders, and they had a couple people on, and they were talking about anime and whatnot, and for some reason it always comes back to the same things, and it's all like, okay, so what are like animes? It's like, what are the great anime, the good animes, or and it's always the same. Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and it's like, okay, I'm starting to really get to the point where if you start listing off Toonami animes as the greatest or your favorite animes of all time, I'm not going to have any respect for you. That is literally the hot take of hot takes right there. And I'm like, I just did not grow up with it. And it's like, they say Kenshin, right? Because I think Kenshin was under Samurai X, right? On Toonami?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. See, I watched it on VHS. You know, it was like 4th generation dub. So it was like someone got a copy and made a copy that made a copy that made a copy. And then that's how I got it back when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And we had Anime Club. That's how I watched it. And it wasn't until we were like juniors, I think, around junior year that Cartoon Network started doing Toonami. And then it was, you know, Gundam Wing primarily at the time. Right. But I was also watching Gundam Wing on VHS in subtitles. And so it's like, yeah, I've already seen that. You know, okay, good, I guess, for people. But I was like, this English is not that good, though. And they're changing a lot of the dialogue around. And obviously, that's just a changeover from converting it from Japanese to English. But I was like, it's not the same effect, though.
Right.
So I was like, this is kind of garbage. And then it's all like, it just kept going on. And I was like, okay, you guys are getting scenes wrong and character motivations wrong and interpretations wrong. And I was like, Toonami's a mess, man. And then people just kept saying, it's all like, oh, no, Fullmetal Alchemist. And I'm like, all right. Okay. All right, enough. And you know, the same thing. It's just they're just listing off all these Toonami animes, and I'm like, they're whatever. It's like Cowboy Bebop. Okay, Cowboy Bebop is good, but at the same time, it was like it ended. It was 26 episodes. It was cool, but there's better. You know, I rather watch much other stuff. You know, for me, I think Kenshin and Fist of the North Star are pretty much my top two right there. And it's the same thing. It's like people are like, oh, JoJo, and I'm like, I'd rather watch Fist of the North Star. You know, I'd rather just he punched a tank. Come on, you know. So it's like it's like that, and it's like it's always the people that are the most presumptuous, the most obnoxious about everything are the first ones that are like, oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and it's like, oh my god, you know, the Toonami also had Scried, right? Why don't you guys ever talk about Scried? You know, so it's like, come on, and so yeah, and it's like that's where I'm at, man. Anybody that starts listing off Toonami animes, and it's like, I don't even disagree with you that they're good and they're classics, but I've moved on. I've moved on way beyond that, you know? I'm like, what are my favorites? Like, Slayers, Bakuretsu Hunters, Sorcerer Hunters, Saber Marionette J, My Hime, you know, there's all these shows. My Hime, by the way, was by Sunrise. So, you know, the guys that did Code Geass, and Tiger and Bunny, you know, there's Sunrise, and also they also did a couple of people I think with Sunrise too. So it's like there's all these other shows that are just way better, and it's like, but all they want is a Trigun. Oh god. So yeah, I'm sorry. So you've been warned, but if you start coming at me like, oh yeah, what's your favorite anime? Trigun. Oh my god, one of those, huh? Cowboy Bebop. I guess that this
does it count if you've seen Trigun before Toonami?
I don't think it's necessarily an issue of dub or sub for most of these. I think it's just the content, the story, and the characters and all that. When it came to Trigun, I just was like, Kenshin was better. And then on top of that, they're also doing the Kyoto arc now in movie and live action, and it looks dope as hell. I'm like, wow. And they actually, the actress they got to play Tomoe and the dude they got to play Inishi, actually, like, wardrobe and character and all that is dead on. So I'm like, Let's go. So that's my issue. Really, is the element of the shows. That's what. It's not a dub versus sub issue. It's in everything. It's a story. It's a characters thing. Yeah. That's my problem.
Well, I mean, you were saying that you don't have respect for anybody who lists shows that were on Toonami. But what if they saw them before they were even on Toonami?
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, if you were one of those... Yeah.
I know, I saw Trigun way before it was on Toonami.
Yeah. Yeah. Trigun was one of the ones that I knew was out there too. But at that point, like, we had the internet, and we were sharing for the anime through the internet now. So it was like most of the people that were watching Trigun were downloading it. Yeah. So this was... To give you a time perspective, it's like, what, 20 years ago now?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't think I saw Trigun until I was in Japan.
No, there you go.
And they were selling it in the BX. Nice. I was in the service.
Nice.
And I was buying the DVDs. Like, that's how I found Golden Boy. That's how I found
there you
a ton of different anime. Because they had an anime section of stuff I never even heard of. Yeah. Like, I'm just going to start buying stuff because I want to broaden my horizons. At the time, I was only watching, like, Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny, too, is when you look at the evolution, too, of, like, a show like Golden Boy. Without Golden Boy, we wouldn't have a show like Mommy Online. You know? So you do respect shows like those because they were stepping stones.
Right.
You know? You had Dragon Ball, which gave us Fist of the North Star, or vice versa. Fist of the North Star gave us Dragon Ball. Because there was I don't know, I've been meaning to tag you in the clip of when Kenshiro kills the Saiyan army. So, I keep meaning to tag you in that and be like, did you ever remember the Great Saiyan invasion of 1984? That's right. Thank you, Kenshiro. In a nutshell, there was one of the episodes, he was just walking through one of the city, and these dudes, one of the armies of thugs all had the Saiyan armor. So, the Vegeta, like the blue spandex, and then the white shoulder pads. Yeah. And this was 1984. So this was like way before Dragon Ball Z, you know? Right, and they had the Saiyan armor on, and I was like, yeah, did you ever hear about the Great Saiyan invasion of 84? No? Then you can thank Kenshiro. So that's why there's only, Nappa and Vegeta left. Thanks, Kenshiro. Squashed that real fast. But yeah, so it's like without Fist of the North Star, you wouldn't have Dragon Ball. Without Dragon Ball, you wouldn't have JoJo. So it's kind of like you see the evolution of it, you know? So
yeah.
It's the same thing with like Golden Boy. Without Golden Boy, we wouldn't have more and more ecchi shows. So yeah, you can thank Golden Boy for Mommy Online.
Did you ever read the manga for that?
For Golden Boy?
Yeah.
No.
It's horrible.
Really?
It like the first, I don't know, 12 or so chapters were basically like the anime. Okay. He goes job to job, does his thing, and then he leaves. Then it tried to get into like this political, sexual manga where it was like sex in almost every chapter and talking about different political views. And it had longer arcs. Like one arc was like 50 chapters, and it was him infiltrating a high school dressed as a high school girl, dating this high school girl, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I was reading it thinking, like, I hope this gets better. But it was bad. Like, I don't even think it ended with a proper ending. Oh. Like, it just kind of ended.
Well, I guess now you know why the anime didn't cover those parts. They were like, yeah, we're not going to animate this. This is a mess.
Yeah, it was a good thing they ended it where it did in the anime, because it gets pretty bad later on.
Well, that's unfortunate. But, I mean, now that answers some questions as, like, why they didn't do it, but that sucks.
Yeah, because I looked for it. I was like, I had some app on my phone for manga. I was like, let me see if Golden Boy's on here. Oh, here it is. It's like 100 and something chapters. Or maybe it was even longer. I am surprised it lasted that long, but I started reading it, and I was like, okay, it's basically like the anime. Got to, like, at chapter 20 or so, and then it shifted. And it just got bad.
Oh, well.
A waste of a good series.
You'll always have your memories in the anime.
Yeah, still one of my favorite comedies. So I still love that clip they keep reposting of him trying to swim.
Yeah, they keep the biggest meme or the biggest gif I should say is the one of him walking towards the thugs, and then at the last minute he turns into the alley.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's about to go smash faces, and then he just ducks away. That's the one that I always see. The second one is him catching the spit in his mouth.
Oh, when his boss spits at him.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are the two gifs I see all the time. So, yeah, no, Golden Boy's great. I respect Golden Boy. Obviously, I'm bigger into Mommy Online, but I'm not going to dump on Golden Boy.
No.
And like I said, you know it was a good show because it wasn't on Toonami. Boom! Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I just, no respect, dude. No respect. I'm not saying that you people that grew up on Toonami aren't wonderful people. Not a knock on you guys. You guys are all beautiful and lovely. I love you all. But in terms of when we talk about anime, just those Toonami shows, man, they're just, oh, man. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe these people just didn't have access to the internet or didn't have any better sources, I guess, which typically happens. That's fine. But,
Yeah.
Do you still play with your building blocks at this modern, when you grow up, and do you...
Well, some people still play with their Legos.
Legos is fine. That's why I avoided saying Legos. I was like, Legos, people still play with Legos. Grown-ass 40, 50-year-olds still play with Legos. And you can make some fantastic things with Legos. So I'm not even knocking that.
Doesn't Jose still buy Legos?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's how he's passing the time.
Building a bunch of
catching up on all his Legos. But like your blocks, like your letter blocks, do you still play with those?
Well, how else am I going to learn to spell?
Roman does have learning deficiencies. So
I do. I think I do.
So yeah, remember he's yeah. I was gonna make a knock on your waifus, but I was like, we're gonna get off track at this point. We're knocking off people that like Toonami shows, or at least I am.
I mean, I used to watch Toonami, so I can't say nothing.
I mean, no, but
I mean, like you said, I've watched so much. It's like I like the shows on Toonami. Like, I mean, I watched Fullmetal Alchemist before Toonami,
right?
But it did eventually get there.
Right.
I still haven't watched Brotherhood, which I know was on Toonami for a long time, and I think is the #1 show on my anime list.
No, that's not true. That's not true. It's Monster Girl reviewers.
Yeah, they had to rig the voting to get that out of #1.
Jerks, liars. Let the people have their choice. You guys are going to rig the election too when you don't get your way?
But, like you said, there's just so much that comes out. There's like so many other shows that are just better.
Yep.
And I know people are going to be on here like, oh, it's our opinion. But,
And that's fine, man. That's absolutely fine. That's why I said if that's where you come from or your opinion, I'm just gonna kind of discard it. Like, you're entitled to have it, and it's part of your life experience. And we all had different life experiences. But I'm just, like I said, if we're talking and you bring those up as oh, those are like a favorite of all time, it's gonna make an opinion on me of you. That's what I'm saying. And it's not to say that you can't say, like, I was watching this back in the day, but nowadays I'm watching whatever, I don't know, fill in the blank, Dumbbell, Demon Slayer, Fire Force, pick one,
Yeah.
So, because they at the same time, too, these same guys were talking about, like, Vinland Saga and Black Lagoon and all of that. So, and Tenchi, they even brought up Tenchi out of nowhere. So, It's like, it was all over the spectrum. So that's what I'm saying is that when you have... These people weren't solely Toonami-based individuals. They had a wide library of anime to pick from. Right. But they still claim that, all the Toonami-based shows are their favorites. And I was like, man, no. Nope. Not at all. It's like, especially if you're that experienced and familiar with anime and you're still, like, saying the Toonami stuff was... I was like, nah. It's like, most of that stuff wasn't even, like, super popular in, like, Japan. So it was like, it was like Yoko Kanno, her soundtrack in Cowboy Bebop's great, but most of people were like knew her from like Ghost in the Shell when she did Standalone Complex. They always referenced her from Macross. That's what they knew her at. When she came out during the Macross Frontier concert at Anime Expo in was it 2009? 2010? 2009. It was 2009. When she came out, I was like, everyone lost their mind. They're like, oh, Yoko Kanno. And I was like, wow. So, it was like, it was good, but it wasn't her best. So, Fullmetal Alchemist in Japan, who the hell still talks about Fullmetal Alchemist in Japan? Come on now. So, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying. So, like I said, hot take. And, you know, like I said, let's engage in the conversation. Let's go. Fire off in the comments. We'll talk. We have nothing better to do, so let's talk.
Yeah.
So, come on. Let's go.
I think the only series that was on Toonami that I still really like is Dragon Ball. But I was even watching that before it was on Toonami. Yeah. When it was the Ocean dub.
Yeah. And I think I've talked enough about my personal take on Dragon Ball. I'm so impartial to Dragon Ball now. I just let you deal with that now. I let you talk about that.
It was like one of the first shows I started watching that I actually knew was anime. Yeah. And then because Toonami kept repeating the same episodes over and over again, I discovered it on the international channel and just kept watching it in Japanese with no subtitles. Yeah. Because they were way further along than...
And no censorship.
Yeah, no censorship either.
The blood and all that was there. Yeah.
Like some of my favorites I discovered outside of that. International channel.
Public access,
where I discovered Urusei Yatsura. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I was surprised. Like, my grandfather was like, hey, they're showing anime on Channel 10. And I was like, really? Okay. And I turned it on. It was Urusei Yatsura, and that's been one of my favorite comedies ever since.
And you know what's funny about that you bring up Urusei Yatsura? That's also one of the things that was flipping me out. I almost grabbed my keyboard to start ranting in the chat, in the live chat. Was they're over here talking about Tenchi being like the start of the harem anime, and I was like, what about Ranma? What the hell are you talking about? That's why, my opinion just kept going lower and lower with these guys. They want to claim Tenchi was like the Kickstarter, the biggest one. I was like, hell no, dude. They still make Ranma fan art to this day. Yeah. And it's all like, oh, well, there's still, I think there is still a Tenchi series that either it was in like the last 2 years. They still made it like another Tenchi series. And I was like, yeah, but who cares? Who talks about it? If you didn't see it randomly on Crunchyroll like I did, or if you didn't bring it up, no one would talk about it. But they're still cosplaying Ranma, they're looting Ranma, and they're still making fan arts of Ranma to this day. And you want to be like, Tenchi is the one that started the harem genre. Get out of here. No way. No way. And even like you just said, even beyond that, Urusei Yatsura was before. Yeah. Even though that wasn't kind of a harem, that was like.
There were a lot of girls that he was trying to get with.
Yeah, there you go.
But none of them wanted anything to do with him.
Right, right. That's why you don't really.
I guess you could say it's a reverse harem or a anti-harem, kinda.
Yeah, but yeah, but Ranma, that was it right there, man. That defined the genre. So yeah, that's again. But what can I expect? Again, these people think that Toonami anime is the greatest anime of all time. So what can I say? What can I tell you? You know? Right. What can I tell you? I don't know what to tell you. These their opinions are all over the place. They're all skewed, and it's always the same the same people. You can kind of predict what they're going to say and what they're going to do and all that. And you know, these people, like I said, they've gone beyond the Toonami shows and they've seen more. So that's kind of like, I was like, oh, you guys know better. You know better. I know you do. So why are you saying this? So if, you know, like you said, you were overseas, you were stuck, you don't have a lot of exposure, where you're going to go, but you made do and you figured it out. Mm-hmm. And now look, now you have a successful YouTube channel off of this. So
semi-successful.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. And you know, and now we can rant and rave about hot takes and how if you say Toonami shows are your favorite shows, I'm going to judge you. So, but yeah, you know, and the to evolve beyond this conversation now, so I can stop dumping on Toonami shows. I actually did tell a guy this morning because Roman and I were talking about this too. About, you know, last time we had Snowflake and Safe Space, right? And then this time we had Gotham High from DC Comics. Oh god. And so this morning, when I was eating my breakfast, I messaged the guy who watches American comics, and I told him, I was all like, "Dude, brother, it's time, dude. You gotta leave this behind." And I sent him one of the reaction videos to Gotham High, and I'm all like, "You gotta start watching anime and manga, dude. It's over. American comics are done. They're absolutely done. You know."
Go to the shonen genre if you want superheroes. Or Tiger and Bunny. Yeah. My Hero is shonen, so yeah, that's just straight up superheroes right there.
Literally anime X-Men. It's anime X-Men. That's literally what it is. Like the good stuff from like the 60s until like the 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Right until about the Jim Lee era. You're pretty familiar with X-Men in the Jim Lee era, right?
X-Men was never one of my favorites.
Okay.
I did like the animated show.
Right. Yeah.
But
most of us. We
outside of that, the comics I found kind of boring.
Okay.
I think a little too political for me.
Fair enough. And that's kind of what they were. That's kind of what Jim Lee wanted them to be. So Jim Lee Stanley, sorry, Jim Lee's artist. No, Jim Lee was just the one that did like when you look at the Capcom fighting games, for instance, those were all like his designs.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's all that they were. All they modeled them after and all that. So I think he was the one that also did the one up to the arc where Magneto took the adamantium out of Wolverine. I think he did that too. That was his era.
Okay.
So yeah, he's the one that kind of drew all that.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah. See, there were good moments. But it's gone now, man.
Yeah. Now they're too busy trying to pass on their social justice agenda.
Right. Yeah. It's crippling the storylines, man. It's suffocating the characters and the motivations and all of that. And it's like, when we had these people where it's all like, my parents treated me like trash, but I'm not going to let that hold me back. I'm going to rise above it and become a hero and defend people that didn't have the power like I have the power, Stuff like that. Or I was wrong, though I'm not going to let that get me down, And you had like chivalrous thieves like Storm and Gambit. They were both thieves, but, they were like, we were criminals, but we can reform and now we're going to help people. Yep. And they did have their ins and outs. And, for story purposes, like, well, now I'm a bad guy. Oh, wait, now I'm a good guy again. Oh, jump forces and all that. It's like, whatever. Storytelling purposes, because, like Roman said, sometimes it got stale and boring, so you have to change it up. So,
what was that other Marvel comic that's coming out where it's like a female Cyclops? Gambit and...
Yep. That's so they did New Warriors, which was Snowflake and Safe Space, and then they did. It's going to be X-Men: Children of the Atom, which is where they're all race and gender swapped and all over the place.
Yeah,
it's over, man. It's done. And that's what a lot of people were saying. They were like, look, at least with the New Warriors thing, they are making new characters, and you can't fault them in that regard.
Right.
They're not taking existing things and just, well, he used to be called Speedball, but now he's Safe Space. They're not doing that. They entirely made them from scratch, and it's like still fell flat on their face. So it's like, okay, give you props. You tried. You failed, but you tried. So whatever.
Right.
Wash my hands of it. Just ignore it. But now if you're an X-Men fan and you've been following them for years, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, what's the new X-Men this week? Oh, what? It's over, dude. And you brought it up, too. I actually told him that. In the same message, I told him, dude, it's time to start watching Boku Hero. It's time to start watching Demon Slayer. It's like, it's done. It's done, son. And yeah, you're right. There have been other takes. Like Tiger and Bunny is a good one. And that's another one.
Still one I have to watch, but I've heard it's really good. I think you've talked about it a few times. Mm-hmm. I think Speedball did have a different name, too, at one point.
After the first Civil War, when he blew up those people, he became Penance.
That's it, yeah.
And I think that he went back to being Speedball at some point, though. I think he got over that.
Yeah.
I
was trying to look that up, but you already knew. So.
Yeah, because I remember Civil War was good. Civil War the comic, which was not really what the movie was based off of. Two totally different things, even though the concept was the same.
Yeah.
But Civil War, the comic, was pretty good.
Kind of hard when you don't have all of your properties for the movies.
True.
And you only got like a handful.
True.
It's not really much of a war. It's just like a...
punching contest.
Yeah.
So they tried. And what's funny is that Civil War, the movie, actually is one of my favorite MCU movies, too.
It's really good.
Yeah. So for what it was worth. And in my also opinion / other hot take too, I think that was the best depiction of Black Panther. The way he was done in Civil War, his origin and all of that, I think was the best depiction of him. I think he was really, really solid in Civil War specifically.
Right.
So, but yeah, So, and that's what I told him too. I also said, I was like, the older American comics storylines are great, and that's why they sell them in graphic novel form. And they said that too, especially like after Endgame and still in Infinity War. It was like, what were the graphic novels that were selling and being printed the most? Infinity Gauntlet. They were selling more copies of Infinity Gauntlet, the graphic novel, the one that's like bound at $20. They were selling more copies of those than current run comics. They can't even sell those. People are going back and reading about Thanos and Lady Death.
Yep.
I'm like, that's fine. If you want to read the OG storylines, I was like, I can respect and understand that. But to still support these things in the modern day, I don't know, man. It's like I said in the last rant. I like these people because they are not me, because they don't look like me, because they can do things that I can't do. That's what is inspiring. That's what's fun about it and great. You know, if I want to be me, I'll just go to work. You know, it's not, you know, not to say that, okay, you can't take inspiration or be inspiring or be wonderful. I'm like, we get that. We know that. Everyone is wonderful for making sure the planet doesn't burn. That is great, but that's also like just every day. That's the point of this. That's why they're super, because they're above the norm. They're above normal. They're beyond that. And save Snowflake and race change, gender change, and it's like that's just rule 63 to everybody. How is that original? My goodness.
Mean, I wouldn't really have an issue with that if it was a separate universe.
Yeah,
like Marvel has multiple, like the multiverse thing, kind of
right.
like DC does.
Right.
If they would have said this is a completely different universe, then okay. But if it's the main universe they're doing this in, then there's an issue.
It is, because they're the Children of the Atom are the sidekicks to the original X-Men.
Sidekicks?
The sidekicks. Yeah. Yeah.
So is female Cyclops a sidekick?
Yes. Yeah.
I think you'd want a sidekick that wasn't exactly like you?
Which is funny too, because I forgot what I was talking about, but I was like, all these people that are hiring all these young people, I was like, they're just going to replace you, right? The future is now, old man. And then they make you retire. It's like, why do we need you? You're old, your back is busted, you have broken ribs. Like All Might,
Yeah.
All Might knew he was busted up, so he's like, yeah, it's time to shelve it. Let me pass it on. So, that's what he did. And so it's like, yeah, why would we need your old ass? We have your sidekick who could do everything you can, and they're fresh.
Yeah.
So they don't have your experience, but we can teach them experience.
He'll get that on the job.
Yeah, what do you think? It's called the Danger Room. That hasn't gone away, to my knowledge.
As far as I know, still there.
Yeah, so these people, they just don't get that. They don't think about these things. They don't think logically. They're just proud that they're all like, look what I created, and it's like, you didn't create anything.
And then when the real fans like complain and do all that, they trash them.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, you're not real fans. The real fans would agree with everything that we come out with.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not a real fan. That's just a follower.
Which, going back to what we were just talking about, is fine if you want to hold that opinion, but you got to be like me and market it. That, hey, this is a hot take. So, that's honestly what you believe, that's fine. But don't lie and be like, well, I'm trying to help or I'm trying to make things. No, you're not. You're not. I know I'm not helping. That's why I called it a hot take and my highlighted and stressed my opinion. That's why I was like, I'm not going to respect you or respect your opinion. But I'm not going to tell you at the same time too that,
you can't have it.
Yeah. That it's, you're a bad and evil person because you don't agree with me and you need to change your opinion. It's like, no, I don't care. Because I know my hot take is not going to influence anything. It's just people are going to be like, yeah, well, you suck. And then we all move on. So that's pretty much what it is. But these people, they don't take that. It's like, if you disagree with them, then they get really, 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 really butthurt. Because they're so proud of their creation. And it's like, it's not good, though. This isn't good. This isn't helping anybody. This isn't doing anything. This is not interesting. It's not anything. That's in terms of, this is a story. You're supposed to tell a story, but your story's not interesting. And then from a business perspective, it's you creating a product, and the product is not good. So how do you get mad at people for not wanting to buy a bad product?
I thought it was funny because I looked up the New Warriors. Like, you showed me a couple of videos, but I looked up another one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name. The meme dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. They came up with internet gas.
Oh,
That's what he gets hit with.
yeah.
Internet gas.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, okay, I can just suspend my disbelief for a lot of things with comic books,
Yeah.
but internet gas? That's... I'm just disappointed. That was lazy right there.
Yeah.
Even lazier is the other dude. His name's B Negative.
Be negative.
He's Morbius, but younger.
Yeah.
He had a blood transfusion or something from
Yeah.
Morbius. Like, you couldn't have just put Morbius on the team and had him, like, mentor them or something. I know is he a good guy? Or is he kind of one of those off-on...
Yeah, he's like off on.
'Cause I'm pretty sure he's kind of a Spider-Man villain, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because the movie with Jared Leto, I didn't even know it was Jared Leto until I saw the trailer. He's in that one, I guess he's an anti-hero. So he's at least starting out as a good guy. But they the point of that is that they are putting it with the Spider-Man movies.
Right.
Because that's where they showed Vulture, or the guy Michael Keaton as the Vulture in there.
Yeah.
So to tie it all together. And then they also, at least in the trailer that I saw, which I think was the first trailer, they name dropped that. You know, they were like, oh, from the guys that brought you Spider-Man Far From Home and Homecoming.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that those were, to me, they were such MCU movies. I didn't actually know Sony had a heavier hand in it. I thought that Sony just let Marvel just take the reins, and they were like, yeah, it's you. Just give us 60%, put our name on it. I didn't know that that was actually considered a Sony movie. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, I think they just gave them permission to use Spider-Man.
Yeah, but they're taking credit for it. They're taking like director and producing credit for Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home.
Right.
And I didn't know that they did that. I thought they were very hands off.
No, when it came to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yeah.
they just kind of, I think, oversaw how they were using Spider-Man. But when it comes to their own movies, Marvel's just kind of like helping them out. So it's still their production, their movie.
Right.
So
Yep.
Sony is still very much in charge of Spider-Man, just that Marvel gets to use him if they want in a Marvel movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when you look at Venom, for instance, that you can tell that was very Sony.
Yeah.
Cinema universe.
Still need to watch that.
Oh, that was a great movie. Venom was really, really good. And I saw it the night before I had to go to Japan too. So I was like, I'm not going to Japan until I watch Venom. I was like, I'm not leaving this country until I watch Venom. So I saw Venom, and then I got on the plane the next morning and got out of here. But yeah, yeah, nice. Such a good movie. Yeah, it's like, and then, there you go too. It's all like you could still make good stories. It's just they just lost the art, man. And now that's why they're losing to anime and manga. That's why, what did we say? Boku Hero made like, what, 25 million or 5 million?
Oh, yeah, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's an anime shonen jump movie that's not Dragon Ball Z. And look how much it did. And it's all like, this, you're going to keep seeing this. You know, especially, and Disney has taken L's left and right. And the parks are closed. And I was all like, what's going to fill in the gap? Crunchyroll and, unfortunately, Funimation. Because they're available all the time, and they're going to keep growing. Fate Stay Night, that also made a couple of, I think 500,000, I think, from the last movie. So almost a million. But that was only numbers here in America. It made 500,000 here in America.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the take from Japan or internationally was. The numbers that we were talking about in the last podcast were international. But yeah. You're gonna see anime and manga fill in the gap for when these American comics start failing, and they are failing. And it sucks because before most of us knew what anime and manga were, we were reading American comics, especially with how easily available they were on TV with like Batman, Spider-Man, and X-Men.
Yeah.
So every Saturday morning they were all there. So, but now it's like we moved on. So, and it's like, it's funny too because the anime and manga do have the elements of what we all grew up with as kids. The storytelling and the characters and the heroism rising above the challenge. They're all there. So, there you go. And I'm looking at your Fubuki poster. One Punch Man. That's another superhero.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So, Heaven's Feel 2 made 17 million worldwide.
There you go.
Yeah, 16 million international, 420,000 here.
There you go.
So,
and my theater was pretty filled up when we went and saw it. So, and it was limited theaters as well. So
yeah, most anime is.
Yeah.
They're starting to come on board, but I think they're still kind of skeptical about it.
Right.
So they're not willing to put it in a wide release.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I was like, Boku Hero made that much, and it's not Dragon Ball or Pokemon, for instance. Same thing with Fate. You know, Fate did that, and it's not, you know, Dragon Ball or any of those. So it's not a Shonen Jump property.
Right.
And it still pulled 400,000. So I'm like, there you go. And it's like they're going to keep doing... Like, the third movie, well, I don't know if it's getting released in theaters now, but...
I think it was just pushed back or delayed.
It was, yeah, I don't think they've given a date yet, though. A makeup date. But when that third movie does come out, if it comes out on theaters, it's going to make double that. I think it's going to make double that. Especially because, given the mobile game, the other two movies, that this is the last one in the series, and it's just grown exponentially since then. Yeah, it's going to, at least here in the States, I'm going to make the long shot odds that it's going to break 1 million. I'm calling it. I'm saying for Heaven's Feel Part 3, The Lost Butterfly, I think it's going to make 1 million. At least 1 million here in the States by itself.
I'm surprised Konosuba didn't do that well.
Really? Our theater was packed.
I mean, domestic it made $1 million. I mean, it still made like $5 million, but that's worldwide.
Oh, okay. Worldwide, that's kind of funny. I would have figured Japan would have eat it up.
Yeah, international was only like 3.9.
Oh, okay.
Over here, and domestic was 1.1 million.
Okay, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. There are a couple of Puritans that don't like Konosuba. Because remember we made this joke. Remember they had a quote unquote forcible action joke, we'll say, so I can dance around the term. And then they made, because you saw the movie, right?
Yeah.
Remember about
saw last night.
the lady orcs?
Well, finished it last night. Yeah.
Yeah, the lady orcs, and then the futanari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are people that it's like you said earlier too, that are just like, oh my god, why'd you make fun of that? And it's like, because it's anime. Shut up. Jeez. You know? And these are the same people too that going back, they're like, oh, Shin-chan, Crown Shin-chan. And I'm like, what? Crown Shin-chan was super lewd and disgusting. And it's like, and you guys loved it. And it's like Konosuba is just like not even on that level. And you guys are like, It's like, oh, shut up. So yeah, again, you name that Toonami anime, I'm not going to respect you. So, just going to stress that, just reiterate that.
I know one of the articles I read was somebody complaining about trans jokes.
Right.
Because of the Chimera, Sylvia.
Yes. With what I tagged you in this morning.
And it's like, you know, everybody else, gays, lesbians, they all get made fun of. And I'm sure they don't like it, but they're not always constantly like, you can't make fun of us. Trans, it's like you say anything about them, and they're just on your case.
They'll take your head off.
You're not taken seriously because of this.
Right.
If you want everybody to treat you like everybody else, you got to let everybody make fun of you like everybody else.
It's true. It's true.
Just have it roll off your back.
Yeah.
Go into one ear and out the other. Just whatever. Everybody gets made fun of.
I think that this ties into when we were discussing Corona-chan earlier, and it's like, in general, there are no sacred cows.
Right.
There really no. Humor is the one true equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything can be made fun of. And it's like, what I think people are confusing or getting mistaken for is audience.
Right.
There's a time and a place for every joke and sense of humor. And so knowing where you are and what your message is, I think is incredibly important to being an effective sense of humor or comedy.
Right.
So I think that's what the issue is. But when you got it, it's hilarious. So that's what Konosuba did, you know.
Yep.
They knew the audience, they knew what they were going to do, what they were going to say, and it took them to $1 million domestic. And that's what I honestly am saying. And that's Konosuba. And Konosuba, you know, is massive here in the States. You wouldn't think about it, but it is very, very popular here in the States.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying is that, but it took a lot of steam. You know, there was a big gap between season 1 and season 2, but it never stopped. That's why when Isekai Quartet came out, it was like there was no brainer for Konosuba to be in there. And then they even had the crossover, the little special with ReZero, like what, 3 years ago? I think 2016 or 2017.
Did they?
Yeah, it was a special, and they did a couple of events. One of them was the guy that plays Subaru and the guy that played Kazuma. They were just kind of talking like the two voice actors are just kind of a spitballing thing, like how much life sucks for their characters and whatnot. And then they had like a Takahashi Rie special where she's just talking because she's Emilia and Megumin.
Right.
So she's just kind of talking about her things and all that. And it was kind of like this crossover special. And so this was even before Isekai Quartet. So, Konosuba, extremely popular, and that's why I'm saying is that, but it built up steam. When it came out, nobody knew about it. They just were like, what is this? And then they were like, oh my. So, because you had Sword Art, which is just like, all right, it's Isekai. And then you had ReZero, which is kind of jacked up Isekai.
Yeah.
And then you had, and even after that, you had Log Horizon, which is just another, just more Sword Art. And then you had ReZero, which is like, yeah, what if we did Sword Art, but we killed everybody? Demon Souls. Everyone likes Demon Souls, right? Haha. Reload your save file. Haha. And then they were like, all right, so we did the normal, and then we did the super serious, and now so if Sword Art was in the middle, and ReZero was to the right, which is like super serious, then to the left would be comedy and parody.
Right.
And that's what Konosuba did. It went, instead of going to the super serious, the normal standard route, it went to the far left of the spectrum and instead became a parody or a comedy. And that's what it did.
Right.
And it found success because it did that. Because it took the formula and it just was like turned it into a giant joke. And people that have sense of humor, they rewarded it with $1 million at the box office. So there you go. So but it got there after a build-up and hype and word of mouth and 2 seasons. So that's what I'm saying. The same thing with Fate. I think with the first 2 movies, and the first movie, if I remember right, didn't even get a major release. Like, I had to go all the way to San Francisco, Japantown to watch it on a Saturday. And they had all of their showings at this one specific theater on that Saturday. Like, they had 2 or 3 showings, I think. But, yeah, that's how I had to go see the first movie. The second movie got released in theaters nationwide. And the third movie was going to do the same, but obviously that got delayed. So I honestly think that the third for Sword Art Final Fantasy Fate movie is going to make $1 million. I honestly do. So, yeah.
Looking this up.
Which one?
Heaven's Field to see when it was pushed back.
Yeah, if it has a date. Oh, excuse me. If it has a date.
Let me see.
Yeah, I just know that it got delayed. First, the delay came in Japan, and then the delay came over here in the States.
Let's see this.
All right.
Just says coming soon.
Yep.
Let's close that. But it doesn't. Okay, 320. What do you say? Yeah, it was supposed to come out the 17th, it says.
Okay.
And they canceled that.
Oh.
And it doesn't look like they've come up with another day yet.
Oh.
If they're even going to.
Oh, jeez.
For all we know, they could just release it digitally or something.
Right.
Like they've been doing with other movies. Since theaters are closed, they've just been releasing everything digitally.
Which could be the way. Yeah, I mean, well, that was kind of their play, honestly, because like Konosuba, the movie came out on theaters, and then they put it onto Crunchyroll, and they did that with Tanya as well. Tanya got a movie release, and then after a while, it ran its course, and then they put it on Crunchyroll too.
Right.
So that could be the way of the future, or they could they could do it the opposite way too, where they could just put it on streaming first, and then to make it more of a spectacle, put it in theaters. It's like, come watch it on the big screen. Granted, they wouldn't make that much money because if you've already seen it, the incentive to go watch it again, just in a theater is kind of low. But
right.
It is an option, and they could just do a limited release. So instead of like every theater having it, then just a handful of theaters, and then just make some money that way. But yeah, it's rough
Yep,
times. But I mean, again, specifically in terms of the third Fate movie, I think whatever they do, it'll make them money. I think it'll make them money. And on top of that too, indirectly related, that is kind of also a build up for the Demon Slayer movie too, because it's all UFO top.
Yeah.
So I think that those two audiences will be very pumped and hyped that they'll go see it, whatever. However they go see it, they'll go see it.
Especially Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Since that's really big right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? I think it was Funimation when they did their Anime of the Year awards. That was number 1.
Of course. Yeah, like I said, it was when people started saying that Ufotable animation, they were just like, they pulled in that Fate crowd and it was over. It just blew up. So now you see all these Fate nerds all like, oh, Demon Slayer, haha, Tanjiro. Yeah, I don't know. So in FGO, in the JP server, they're doing a rerun of the Fate Apocrypha event. I don't know if I told Roman this or not, but Sieg, the character Sieg in Apocrypha, in Fate Apocrypha, is acted by Tanjiro. And so I said that in Fate Apocrypha, Sieg is just kind of like a self-insert. He has no real personality because he's meant to just be like you, and you are, yourself. But you're the one that's all like, oh, I'm going to go mac on John and Astolfo, like Sieg does. I'm a self-insert. Ha ha ha.
With no personality.
No personality. Literal cardboard. But then he goes and he's also Tanjiro. And I'm all like, I kind of like Tanjiro. At first he was a huge dork. In the beginning of the show, he's a huge dork. I'm like, I don't really care for him. But I think that right around where he learned the fire dance and they started talking about his dad, and I was like, all right, I think I kind of like Tanjiro now. And now at the end of the anime, or the current airing of the anime, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go even beyond this. I'm going to say I like Tanjiro more than I like Deku. There you go. I'm just firing off hot takes today, man.
Deku cries a lot.
Tanjiro cries a lot too. I love that meme where it's always like Tanjiro after he beats a demon and it's crying Peter Parker. And it's like, yeah, is it like, So, and what's funny too about him as Sieg is Maya Sakamoto plays Jeanne d'Arc in Fate, and in Demon Slayer, Maya Sakamoto was that doctor, that demon doctor. The one that...
God, I can't remember her name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The one who told him go get all the blood to make a cure for Nezuko? Yeah. That's her. That's Maya Sakamoto. And so it's all like, oh, it's Sieg and John all over again. Hey. So, yeah. Yeah, I like Tanjiro. I like Tanjiro a little bit more. He's probably, right now, currently my favorite Shonen Jump main character. And I say that even in the face of Bleach coming back, because it's like, who likes Ichigo? But anyways,
is it actually coming back?
Like, it's a side story arc.
Is it that Burn the Witch?
Burn the Witch, yeah.
As it still takes place in the Bleach universe, though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just different characters.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. So Tanjiro is better than Deku, but Deku is big because MCU is big. So
yeah.
But Demon Slayer is incredibly popular in its own right. So I think what helped it too was it wasn't really competing with Boku Hero, was it? Or at least when it started, Boku Hero wasn't airing. And then I think for the second half, wasn't it? They were both airing at the same time.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I think they were.
Okay. So I think that helped it gain steam too, because it was all like, well, there's no Boku Hero. What am I going to watch? Oh, what's this other Shonen Jump show? Demon Slayer? Oh, okay, I guess I'll check it out. There you go. And it worked out in their favor.
The rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. And here we are.
Still beating records. I think it passed My Hero Academia in manga sales recently.
It did. And it was beyond One Piece too for a minute, and then One Piece took it back because one of the guys died or something? Was that it?
Well, they were showing a backstory
recently,
so it might be from that.
Okay.
Because usually the backstories are pretty big, because they give a lot of information about stuff that's been going on.
Okay.
Not just of one of the characters, but like of the world. And this one was dealing with a lot of the end game stuff, so.
End game? That's 60%. You want to talk about the end game?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Only another 5 years, I think.
Yeah. So
Considering it's been going since '99.
jeez.
Yeah.
When I was walking through Narita Airport in Tokyo, they actually had a booth that was selling stuff from Akihabara, and they had the One Piece Wanted posters.
Yeah.
And they had the Chopper one. He's only like, was 100 berry or something?
Yeah, I think it's like 100
Yeah.
now. And that was his raised bounty. Because it used to be 50.
I was like, wait, why is he so low? It's like, isn't he one of the most dangerous ones?
Yeah, but like, I think we brought this up in the last podcast too. He's considered the pet.
Man.
He's not much of a threat. Like I said, his nickname is Cotton Candy Lover. So
Jeez.
they don't look at him as a threat.
Man.
So, yeah, he's got only 100. I think they figure the other thing is just someone different. Because he's got his human form.
Right.
But I never see a bounty for that one. It's always just Chopper. Like small little reindeer with a hat Chopper.
Incredible.
At 100 berries.
Absolutely incredible. But yeah. It's good times.
Yep.
So, man.
So let's see, we were going to talk about a couple things.
I mean, I think I pretty much nailed all my things. I think, looking at the timestamp now, well, the only other thing I got to say is that the end of this week is the release of Resident Evil Nemesis. So I'm looking forward to that. So, and it came at a good time because, again, I'm off for spring break from university right now, so I'll have some extra time. And with lockdown, really nothing else going on, so
Right.
I'm looking forward to that. Although I think that I might not play it right out the gate. I think I might watch some streamers play it and kind of get a feel for it. This is kind of also what I did with Resident Evil 2. I wasn't really feeling remake, and then I saw people streaming it, and then I was like, all right, now I'm curious. Then I played it for myself.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is pretty dope. I have been playing the demo on and off too, because I'm getting used to like the aiming mechanics and all of that, and the movement mechanics. So kind of getting myself ready for it. But Roman did mention the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I believe that's still on track for next week. But if you do have a pre-order, check with your retailer.
Yeah.
Some of them may be delaying physical copies based on how bad or how good the mail is in your area. So check with them to make sure, or check your release date, check your emails, make sure that you're still listed to get it on the 7th, I believe. So definitely check that out. They haven't said anything about Resident Evil, and I just pre-ordered mine about 2 weeks ago because Amazon was selling Nemesis for $50.
50.
So I was like, all right, we'll sell it. Sign me up. I was going to hold out to see if I can get a collector's edition from GameStop, but I was actually going to make that joke too, but talking about not trying to trigger people, but wanting to trigger people. I was going to make that post and be like, yo, man, you know how we all hate GameStop right now, right? They treat their employees like trash, and they just, they're the worst. They're just scum, right? So I think that in protest, we should all cancel our collector's editions of Resident Evil Nemesis. Let's show GameStop. Let's stick it to them and just be like, no, we won't stand for this, and just cancel Resident Evil Nemesis, the collector's edition. Specifically the collector's edition.
And then I can get one. No.
So they suck, and let's show them by canceling our collector's edition of Nemesis. And so, yeah. But, yeah. So, but it was like, it was so dumb that it's kind of not funny, but at the same time, it was like, when I worked at GameStop, I never saw that treatment. I never got that treatment. And I'm talking about when I went to the company picnic for our district. They had a barbecue at a park, and so I went over there, and my district manager, who I'm actually still friends with on Facebook, mind you. So he comes up to me, he's like, oh, hey, Steve, you made it. Welcome. I was like, yeah, man, hey, thanks for doing this and having us. And he's like, oh, yeah, did you bring your mom? I was like, oh, yeah, no, she's over there. She's with the kids and the family and all of that. And he's like, oh, great. Now I can go ask her who taught you how to clean. Dick. So, that's what I'm saying, is like, that was the kind of treatment that I got, that I received while I was working there. So, but it was never to the extent of, well, just sell and don't worry about staying alive and not dropping dead. I'd never seen that.
Yeah.
And I had come to terms with them being a company because that's one of the reasons that I came to understood how businesses operate and function and their worth and what they do was working at GameStop. When you start looking at profit and losses and overhead and how do you remain open? You want to pay everyone fair wages and take care of everyone, but at the same time, you can't do that if you're out of business. If your store shuts down, if it closes, you can't help anybody.
Right.
You can't help your employees. You can't help your customers. It's over. It's just, there's nothing exists. So you start to understand what it is about the businesses. And that's not to say that everything's perfect, that employees are asking for too much, or that the GameStop just takes and takes and takes. And it's not like, no, there's got to be middle ground where everyone, not everyone is gonna be satisfied. It's never gonna be perfect. And people have to understand that. If the business doesn't make money, it closes. Period. The end. No money comes in. We can't pay the rent. We can't keep the lights on. We can't keep the power on. How do we work the registers?
Right.
You want to handwrite receipts? Fine. But then if the rent doesn't get paid, they close it on you anyways. And that's it. If you don't have money, you can't buy games to sell. So and people need to understand that. And it will never be perfect. But people were getting paid. They were getting paychecks. I was getting a paycheck. And it's just how the business operates. That's the nature of it all. And it did work, but I had never seen anything like this where they were just like not, now I heard too that they were telling people to grab a plastic bag, to grab like money from the customers. So, you don't make physical contact. So like, dude, just go buy gloves. Just literally go buy a box of rubber gloves.
Yeah.
And it was just really excessive. And I had never known or seen GameStop get to that level. And I was there for almost 5 years and I made it all the way up from part-timer, just on the bottom ground level, all the way to store manager. And I had never seen anything like that, and I had worked multiple Christmases, multiple Black Fridays on every level as a part-timer, as a third key, as an assistant manager and a store manager. I worked the holidays on every level and I had never seen it get like that. And you do, as a company, have to prioritize your employees. And especially me, I was always employee oriented. I was always like, if the employees have no excuses to be dickheads, then they'll treat the customers nice. Then they will meet our profit goals. And they did. My store was a $1 million store out here in the Bay Area.
Wow.
And it was not in like San Francisco or in Oakland. So it wasn't even a major city. And we still were a $1 million a year store. So it functioned, and I've just never seen him get to that level. But at the same time, I get what they were saying though about them being an essential function in terms of, well, people are bored and sitting at home, so we're gonna sell them video games. I get that, but they didn't do what they needed to do on their end and give them the cleaning supplies they needed.
Right.
And I was, when I was reading the list of their demands, like, hey, can we shut off the interactives? I would have shut them off. I would have shut that shit down. And then if a district manager comes into the store, they're like, yeah, we're just, we're doing inspections, making sure everything's cool. We're in this difficult time, so we're just making sure you guys are all alive. Yeah, man, I'm cool. Okay, hey, turn the interactive on. Then I tell them, I'll be like, yeah, it's a petri dish of disease and germs. Maybe we should keep it off. And if he still's like, yeah, well, nah, but just keep them on anyways, then I would turn it on. And then once he leaves, an hour later, I'd turn it back off.
So he's not coming back.
Yeah, he's not coming back. And they always said that too. They're like, oh, I might come back. It's like, you're not coming back. They always said that too. They were like, they never came back. And sometimes they were like, oh yeah, we're going to come visit your store. They never did.
Yeah.
So it's all like, oh yeah, no, I just didn't have enough time. I got caught up at the other store. The other store was a mess. And so it took me all day to fix it. And they never showed up at my store. So yeah. But again, I like I said, I get it. I understand it from both ends. And I think that there was, GameStop did drop the ball on a lot of issues. But at the same time, too, I think that even outside of the pandemic in general, people got to understand that if the business, if they can't keep their bills paid, they shut down. And if they shut down, that's it. There's no protesting. There's no online messaging, no social media. If it's dead, it's dead. And I know some people are to the point where they don't even care if GameStop went under. And it's all like, it would be the end of an institution, but that's also how the market goes. It's like barely buy video games anymore as it is, and that's just because nothing's really appealing to me. Just like American comics, there's nothing that's really appealing to me. Look, it had to take a remake of Nemesis for me to get kind of excited. And you know, what are the other games I bought? Azure Lane, which is based off a mobile game. Right. Grand Blue Fantasy, which is based off a mobile game.
Just need Fate to release a new game.
Oh, trust me, I've been saying that. I was like, if FGO got a console release, and it was treated more like, you know, a turn-based RPG like Final Fantasy style or something, I was like, come on. So, yeah, it's if GameStop goes under, GameStop goes under. But that's it's the nature of the beast. But don't blame them for being a business outside of their actions and during the pandemic. Don't blame a business for being a business. If you know, and if the employees are being mistreated, then they should leave. You know, don't ever sit there and take it. If you feel that you're being dumped on and you're not getting the respect or the recognition you deserve, leave.
Find a new job.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, they were telling them that too, because a lot of people were like, well, if GameStop closes, where am I going to go? And people were telling them, you know, drive food or work at Walmart. And some of them were getting angry at that. But it's all like, what can you do? You know, if it's not fierce enough that you're being dumped on that you don't want to leave, then maybe you need to reassess whether you want to leave or not. Are you being mildly inconvenienced and irritated, but you still will show up if they call you in? Or is it really a problem enough that you got to get out? That's how you got to evaluate it.
Right.
And no one can do that except for you. You know, people have to look at themselves and think about their situation and then make the judgment, make the call. You know, is it bad enough for me to want to leave and find something else? Or is it not that bad where I can just tough it out and take my $12 an hour, working 8-10 hours a week? So, like I said, I was right there in it. So we can talk about this for weeks. I can go back and forth. And like I said, when I am spoiled by living in a capitalist society where I could just get in my car, my 19-year-old car, and go find a store within 2 miles of where I live and get what I need. You know, and I like that. That works for me. So I'm not going to complain about the system. But I am going to say that there are improvements. We could definitely do better. But right. Am I going to say burn the whole thing down? No. That ain't me. That ain't me, son. And again, I love using the American comics industry because it's like they don't interest me. They're not selling anything I want or need, so I just leave it alone. Do something else. Catch me on Crunchyroll. There you go.
Yep.
So, but yeah, hopefully Final Fantasy comes out next week, and we'll talk about it maybe. I mean, are you getting it?
Well, I don't have a TV right now.
Oh, okay.
Unless it gets released on a computer.
It is. PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Then I might. I'll probably get it then.
Okay.
Because, I mean, like, I can't play my PlayStation.
Well, there you go. Maybe you guys can catch Roman live streaming it. He'll be on Twitch.
Yeah.
Anime Mystics Twitch channel.
I do have one.
Oh, there you go.
So, I think it is actually Anime Mystics.
There you go.
So, it might be time to open it back up.
There you go. Yeah, if you do, let me know, and then you can get Nemesis off me, and then you can do that too.
Cool. Sounds good. So I'm trying to do more stuff now that I'm just not busy.
Expand, hey man, make the best of it, man. You know, and I keep thinking about this too. It's all like, you know, once this all simmers down, do you think anybody's ever gonna look at it like, man, remember that time that Corona-chan hit, and everyone's gonna be like, yeah, you know, because it happens. You know, remember like when we were like in September 11th, and everyone always does like, you remember where you were when September 11th happens? It's like, oh yeah, man, that was crazy. And, you know, everyone just kind of reflects on it now. Everyone just talks about it. It's like, yeah, man. And it's like, you know, we survived that. We made it through it. And, you know, all the other diseases. And they always list them off, too. Like, oh, SARS, H1N1, swine, you know. So I wonder now if we're all going to look at it like, yeah, man, I was trapped in my house for 2 weeks and watched a crap ton of anime. I was like, man, kind of missed that. Why can't I do that again, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's definitely, it's different. It's different times. Interesting times.
Definitely. It's weird being told to stay home.
Yeah, right? And then what sucks too, or not really sucks, but what's weird about it is that it's all like, yeah, everyone gets to stay home, and I'm like, woohoo, except for you. Don't! So like, You know, it's like, oh man, I get to watch all that anime. Not you. You go to work. It's
You're
like, oh.
Get
So,
back to work.
yeah, get back to work. No one's talking to you. Oh. So yeah. all this free time and I don't get access to it. Oh well.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go work and do my job. I guess I'll go be essential somewhere.
Well, you're essential here. So.
Oh, I love you guys too. Except for you dirty Toonami worshippers. I'm kidding. I love you guys too. Like I said, sound off in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm down. I'm down to hear it. I'm down to hear your experiences and why you love Full Metal Alchemist on Toonami English dub.
Oh god.
But yeah.
Yeah. Every time I try to watch something that has a dub, they're always like, "Watch the dub." I'm like, I don't do dub. I've given you my reasons. Like,
Yeah, I am.
Like what was one? Shimonita.
Oh, Shimoneta?
They were trying to get me to watch the dub.
Oh.
Well, me and Belle, they were trying to get to watch the dub.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. They were trying to get us to watch the dub.
Yeah, that Vic Mignogna, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know, there's a few others. Definitely Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
I think Steins Gate.
Man, you know what's funny that you brought up Black Lagoon? On that same live stream on Friday night, they were trying to bring that up too. Like, oh, Black Lagoon dub is the only way to watch it. I'm like, what? Shut up. Get out of here. No, oh, God, I'm done with you.
Well, I know even the Japanese production company says it's better than theirs.
No. If you're trying to get me to believe that anyone is better than Megumi Toyoguchi, that's not going to happen.
Oh, I'm not trying to convince you anything.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I know. Because that's what he was trying to do, too. He was trying to play that card, too. And I'm all like, well, you know what? Back in the day, they used to try to tell us that Ranma and Tenji dub was better than the Japanese. And we all know they're lying on that, too. So, yeah, no.
I've heard some of the Black Lagoon dub. I don't agree with it.
The only funny thing that they ever did was the compilation of all the F-bombs that they dropped.
Yeah.
And I remind you, too, that the mangaka is the same guy that drew Quetzalcoatl in FGO.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, same guy. So, but he's always been a whack job. So I believe because he's all like, ha ha ha, look how liberal they are with the F word. Ha 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 ha. This is great. That's the only reason why they think it's funny. Does it make it good? No. But it's meme worthy. That's why they made that compilation video.
I think I've seen that once.
Yeah. Yeah, it's old now. But yeah. So, which is funny too because we did or at least I just did a whole rant about comedy and whatnot. And it's like, that's one of the things where it's kind of like, I guess it's not too funny to me, but I guess, sure. If you think swearing all the time is hilarious, I guess this is your cup of tea. But yeah.
The only dub I would consider watching is Ghost Stories or whatever it is.
That was a giant meme, though.
Yeah.
They went in there knowing it was going to be a giant meme, and they just ran with it. So, yeah,
That's the only one, people. Don't recommend anything else in dub, because it's not going to get watched in dub.
And what's so funny, too, is on Crunchyroll, on some of the big ones like ReZero and Konosuba, they have, 4 or 5 different languages? Like
Really?
the Japanese, English, Spanish, French, Portuguese dub. I'm all like, what? Why not just subtitle it? Like a normal person. I didn't even know there was Portuguese anime dub voice actors. Man, okay.
No, that's what they did in for Spanish, for Dragon Ball.
Right, yeah. I
They
mean,
just left the Japanese and just put a subtitle for Spanish.
yeah.
That was all they did.
And the Spanish dub of Dragon Ball is legendary, man. You know, we all know that. We all know the Spanish dub of Dragon Ball. But yeah, that's what I accuse. I would never watch English dub. I would watch Spanish dub. I would watch Spanish dub of almost anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But English dub, nah. Spanish dub, yeah. So those are the only 2 languages I accept. Japanese and Spanish dub. So but yeah.
I would watch the Spanish one because I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, there you go.
I wouldn't be able to understand it anyway.
Fair.
Be like, can I get an English subtitle for this? And if I'm going to do that, I might as well just watch it in Japanese.
Right. Spanish dub with English subtitles. Go full meta.
Yeah.
Watching a Japanese anime in Spanish dub with English subtitles. There you go.
Exactly.
Oh, man. All right, I'm out of gas.
You already guessed.
I am out. I think I nailed most of my points, I think.
Alrighty.
I think I've talked enough smack.
I think all I got. By the time this is up, it'll probably be over, but I had polls going for the next shows that you can choose for me to watch for next season. This will probably be the last time I do that. It's kind of difficult to want to keep doing it when there's over 200 views and only 19 of you vote.
Yeah.
So don't expect it next time. I'm just going to pick all the shows. That's it.
Well, when we get done with this, we'll put it on probably Twitter and on Facebook. We'll see. Maybe that'll get a couple more votes. But when are you going to pull the plug on the voting?
It ends tomorrow.
It ends tomorrow?
Which is,
okay.
Tuesday, the 31st.
Okay. So, yeah, tonight we'll remind everybody to go vote, determine Roman's fate. I mean, if you're a jerk like me, you'll make him watch the worst shows.
I mean, right now, I can tell you what is on there that's winning.
He's pulling it up right now.
Pause that. Poll 1, we got Tower of God with 8 votes. And Princess Connect Redrive at 3.
I think I voted for Princess Connect.
And none of the other ones on here have votes. And the other poll, Arte, I believe is what that's... Or
okay. Art.
Has 5. Listeners has 3. And this is the one you said you voted for.
That's me. Battle No G-Con.
Battle No G-Con
Des.
has 1. And
that's me.
None of the other ones have votes.
All right.
Because I posted this as a video. I posted it on the community page. I put it on the Discord.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
we'll remind everybody.
Yeah, 19 votes. What is this? 20 votes.
Yeah.
20 votes total out of 200 views. So
Okay. So was that a fifth? A fifth of you guys. Okay. All right. We'll remind everybody. So, everyone is busy and, busy watching anime and whatnot because, and then some people are just like, I hate life.
Oh.
I'm stuck inside.
I also put a timestamp for where the votes came in. So
Okay.
those of you who watched it had no excuse.
You heard the man. And we'll do a courtesy reminder tonight so that everyone can go and get their last votes. Make him suffer, man. This is your chance to stick it to him. If Roman ever insulted your waifu, this is your chance to make him suffer. I say do it.
All
Take
of your waifus suck,
There you go.
unless they're Darkness or Amelia.
That is so the opposite ends of the spectrum. Like Emilia Tan is an angel, just precious and doesn't do anything wrong, and Darkness is just awful. And it's like, and I say that loosely because I do love La Latina. I think La Latina is amazing, but she's kind of a ditz, She's kind of a moron. But Emilia is like, perfect, and Darkness is just, wow. Well, yeah. Come on, you guys don't want to stick it to this guy. Look how weird his waifu tastes are. So
They're top tier.
remember to that guy that told Roman to go die because he said that he doesn't like Rem. This is your chance to stick it to Roman.
Oh no, I didn't say I didn't like Rem. It was an image of 2 figures that were coming out, and I said I needed the Amelia one, and then he said I need to kill myself.
Jeez. Man, Roman's all like, I am quite interested in this figure. It appeals to my tastes. Kill yourself. What? What? Where did that come from? That escalated way too fast. Roman didn't even get to say Rem sucks. Rem didn't win. It's like, we're already to the kill yourself part. Wow.
My only response to him was maybe, but not before I get the figure. So after I get it, we'll see what happens.
Then you'll just die of happiness. Die of joy.
By the way, I did pre-order it. It came up for pre-order a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
So if you're listening to this random person who says I need to kill myself, I'm getting the figure.
Defiant till the end. Oh man, yeah, that was yeah. So stick it to Roman. Go make him suffer next season.
I mean, I have a whole shelf of figures dedicated to just Amelia. So there's like 4 in there. I got 2 Nessos. I got a prize figure over there on that shelf. I got a poster over here that has Amelia and Rem. Although, I find that most of the Amelia stuff comes with Rem. It's like they don't believe people will buy Amelia, so they throw Rem on it so that they'll buy it.
Well, you have Ram, and Ram is Best Girl.
Well, those are a set. I had to get the set.
Oh.
I'm also kind of a completionist when it comes to stuff like that.
Okay.
If there's a set to something, I need to get all of it.
Okay.
Which is why I'm so disappointed I missed out on Canon for my Bang Dream stuff.
Oh.
Or, I'll just buy her later.
There you go. Yeah, she'll come up.
But, yeah. Well, I have like 5 other prize figures of Amelia. Oh, and I got this little thing right here. And I know there's something else here. Oh. The same thing, but as a keychain. But I also got Darkness here, too.
You know what you should do is you should, the rubber strap, you should take your phone camera and just like do like a 360 of your room and then just kind of narrate. Show everybody.
I should do another one. I did one before, but it wasn't like the walls weren't as filled up.
There.
And I had less figures.
Time to do
figures.
Do a room
Tour.
Showcase 2020.
Yeah. All right, I got this Darkness right here too.
There you go. See, he's not lying about
And
about Darkness and the Amelia Isekai Quartet.
And I got my Nesso over there.
It's so funny because when I watched Okasan online and I told some guy because they're talking about Azure Lane and I was like, well, I just finished Mommy Online. I sure hope you're treating your Atago correctly. And he's all like, why? And I'm like, same voice actress. So.
Oh yeah, my Amelia cushion too.
Oh jeez. You're.
I'm dedicated.
Roman is literally Subaru. Man.
I did see one of those. What do you call it? Body pillow covers. I was thinking of getting it.
Oh jeez.
It was on Mercari for $33, I think.
Well, that's not too bad.
But right now, it's like I gotta get money first.
Oh.
Hopefully, it's still there.
Yeah, you gotta get paid.
Oh, I also got my little mascot figure over there of Amelia and the
God.
Christmas Amelia one right there.
Oh my god.
So
it goes on. He's got a shrine right now.
Yeah.
He's got an Amelia shrine that could rival my Nero shrine.
The only one that's kind of messed up right now is my Hestia shrine.
Did you finish Danmachi?
I haven't even watched the series. I read the manga up to the Minotaur arc.
Okay.
But I've played Memoria Freeze.
Okay.
And it goes through all the story sections.
All right.
So I played through the first season. I'm currently up to where they're going to go meet Mikoto's friend, the fox girl.
Okay. Okay.
In the second arc.
Yeah, that was season 2 basically.
They did the OVA as well, where they find the hot spring in the dungeon.
Yes.
I got to play through the Ryu story section.
Mm-hmm.
What is that other one? Sword Oratoria has a section in there.
Mm-hmm.
Lefia story as well, or Lefia, however you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got a beach OVA thing going on now in the game, so I'm going to be playing through that. So I know what happens in it. It's just that I haven't watched the anime.
All right.
And the only reason my Hestia one is messed up is, as you can see, she's lying on the ground because the stand for her broke.
Ugh.
So the pegs are stuck in her side. I need a new stand, I guess, and something to take out those pegs.
Hmm.
Also, one of them's Supersonico.
Oh, the Hestia Sonic. Yeah.
But
yeah, you should just record it. Do a room reveal.
I'd have more Hestia stuff too, but it's like hard to find stuff of her that's not sold out already.
Oh yeah, popular.
Yeah. So yeah, if I could find more stuff of Amelia without Rem in it, I'd buy it. Because a lot of it comes with Rem.
What's funny is that he loves Hestia, right? But he's not too big on Rem, and it's the same voice actress.
It's weird.
You know what I mean? I say.
It's like I've always said. I pick certain characters that I like, and I'm not gonna just like a voice actress, like specifically. If I don't like the character, I'm not gonna like the character. And it's not that I don't like Rem. She's just not my waifu. Rem's cool and all. She's just kind of stalkery.
Go die.
I mean, did you watch the OVA
Which one?
for ReZero?
Oh, I don't even know.
Was it Memories of Snow or something like that?
No. I need to.
It shows just how stalkery she is in that.
All right.
However, there is a good scene of her and Amelia drunk.
Oh, jeez. All right. I'll have to check it out. Well, I got time this week. Might as well check it out, right?
Yeah. It's pretty funny. I wouldn't expect anything actiony. It's more funny.
Okay. That's good.
But, yeah. I'm getting that figure. I'm going to have way more Amelia stuff. I do want to make a whole case dedicated just Amelia. One of these days, I'm going to do a room tour, and I'm just going to have one whole wall made of just Amelia stuff. Posters. I'm going to have cushions over there. I'm going to have all kinds of different things, and everybody's going to be like, this guy's dedicated. Or
Man.
and needs to die or something.
Yeah, EMT over here. Oh my goodness. Hey man, love your wife and support her.
Yeah. I also have a Darkness figure. It's just not up.
Yeah.
It's a prize figure. For some reason, the Konosuba scale figures are super expensive.
Yeah. What's funny is that the last time I was in Japan, the Boku Hero figures were all expensive.
Yeah.
But now when I went in there this time, all the Boku Hero figures are cheap, like $20 max, and then all the Demon Slayer stuff is super expensive. So it kind of tells you the shift that's gone on.
Yeah. They're like less My Hero, more demons.
Right. We've moved on.
Like, I remember telling you when I was playing Toriba all the time, it was like almost impossible to get into the machines that had Demon Slayer stuff because they were constantly like overwhelmed. Like they would put a figure up and you would have to wait a week before you could even get in.
Wow.
And by then they're probably out.
Wow.
I was lucky to get my Tanjiro. I think it was a Tanjiro. I haven't been able to get anybody else, but I got Tanjiro. No, wait, I think I got a Zenitsu
Zenitsu?
as well.
Nice.
And I do have a Nesso of Zenitsu.
Dude, those things are going for like $40-50 over there.
It's about how much I spent trying to get it.
Wow.
It gets to the point where you're like, I spent so much money on this, I'm not going to let anybody else have it. So,
I feel you. Meanwhile, I just spent $12 on a Da Vinci from Babylonia.
right.
I should have gotten the waiver one from Detective Waiver, but oh well. Oh.
Was he about the same?
Yeah. It was just my issue with the Nesso berries is that they're bulky to bring back on the plane.
Right.
So I usually always end up carrying them. So I bring them onto the plane with me instead of checking them in. Yeah.
Just be like, this is my waifu for the night.
Pretty much.
Just ignore it.
Pretty much. That's why I didn't buy the Ichika pillow from Quintuplets. It's because I was like, I'm going to have to carry her on the plane. And everyone's going to look at me carrying my pillow. And I'm like, I really, really wanted the Ichika pillow, but I didn't want to embarrass myself.
Right.
So, even though nobody's even on the plane, so no one's there to judge, but whatever.
The pilot will judge you.
The pilot will judge me?
I'm sure he's got cameras.
Yeah.
Look at this weeb.
Look at this nerd. Flies 8 hours just to buy body pillows by Takimakura.
Yeah. Seen a Hestia one of those too, but that one was sold out as well.
Jeez.
It's like I'm always going on Ami,
Mm-hmm.
looking up the stuff because it's like the only place I know to go to get like posters and anything else that's not just figures, except for maybe like Tokyo Otaku Mode. But then I gotta wait like a couple of months after it's released in order to get it.
Right.
The only problem with like Ami is you're paying like the EMS shipping rates.
Yep.
And for like one small item that could be like $20.
Yep.
You're spending more for the shipping than you are the item. And I don't like doing that, so I usually just go and buy like 5 things.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do on Good Smile with the Nendoroids. I always buy multiple Nendoroids at once, so I only pay the shipping one time.
Right. And if you buy it with like if you put it in an order with like a big figure, you just make sure the Nendoroid comes out first, so you're just paying for the shipping on that,
right.
And your big figure is free shipping.
Yep.
I mean, it's still like they're only charging like $18 shipping anyway, so
yeah,
it's not like it's breaking the bank, but. If you're doing EMS, it gets pretty expensive.
Damn.
It could be like $50, $60, $70.
Jeez. Jeez.
And then they're always like, DHL is a little cheaper. It's like $1 cheaper. And I'm like, I'm just going to do the EMS. It's like $1 more. And it's going to get here in like 2 to 5 days.
Yep.
So, you know, it's like, whatever. I'm just going to spend all this money on shipping. And it kind of got to with Ami because they're really quick to cut you off.
Yeah. No pay? Done. Next guy. Move on.
Like, I mean, like, I had pre-ordered something and it was coming out like maybe 3 days before I got paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, it'll probably get canceled, but then I go on there and order it right away and pay for it. It was like, it canceled, and they're like, you can't place any orders for a month now. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I had to put in a request to get it removed. Wow. Ever since then, I'm like, I gotta make sure I have the money in there. So they don't cut me off.
Brutal.
Like a drug addict over
I was just about to say that. Please don't cut me off. I'm sorry. Please let me buy weep stuff from you.
I mean, that's where I'm getting my Interspecies Reviewers DVD.
Ha! They finished that this morning.
I was gonna order the Goblin Slayer. Was it a Goblin Crown thing?
Uh-huh.
Because it comes with the poster of Priestess and Sword Maiden.
Okay.
And like the hot springs.
Oh. Beautiful.
I mean, I'm only getting it for Sword Maiden, but you know.
A Sword Maiden, same voice actress as Lukoa. FGO Lukoa.
Nice. It's good to have somebody who actually knows this stuff. Like, I'm just going to be over here like, yeah, she's cool.
It's my quirk.
I don't.
There you go.
There's very few voice actresses I actually know, and that's because of you.
Yeah.
Like, I would have never thought Megumin was Emilia.
Is Mashu.
Or that Tanya was Diane.
Yeah.
Or what's her name from Aho Girl?
Yohane?
Yeah.
Yoshiko.
Yoshiko.
Yeah.
Never would have put those together.
Yeah. So they came out like in the same year, so it was like Tanya ended, so it was like Smart Aoyuki ended, and then Aho Girl started, and it was Dumb Aoyuki. So she went from being the super genius that can see everything coming to just being this moron. So
I think she was just kind of taking things she knew from our history and tying it in with theirs.
Right.
Smart. It was kind of working the same way.
Yeah.
Just with jetpacks.
Yeah.
And magic.
It works.
She was kind of cheating, but it works.
You know, being X was God himself was cheating, so screw that guy.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice. He was like, I'll give you a nice life. You don't have to do much. You're gonna do whatever you want. You just gotta worship me.
Nah, son. Rather go to high school with Cosma and Ainz and Subaru.
It's like, and you're being forced to worship him anyway now if you use your power. You might as well have just worshipped him. You would have got exactly what you wanted now, only worshiping a supposed god.
Yeah.
But you had to take the hard way.
Tanya's stubborn, man. Tanya's great.
Very stubborn.
Love Tanya. Tanya's the best. Tanya's the best Isekai quartet.
She's funny in Isekai Quartet. I like her in Isekai Quartet.
Roman is
like
very...
when Ainz is in his horse outfit. And what was it? Philo came over calling him a cute horsey. He goes, "You're a cute horsey." Laughing at him.
Roman is very tsundere about his Aoyuki roles and how much he actually does adore her. He just doesn't want to admit it.
It depends on the role. I like Diane, although she was kind of starting to annoy me in the 3rd season of Seven Deadly Sins. Her and King. And I liked King. He was cool. Then he got annoying. It's like, you suck now. is like all this stuff is happening with the Ten Commandments, and you two run to your forest and just hide. It's like, God, what kind of loyalty is that?
Oh, just give it a minute. Season 4 will come. It'll happen. You'll see.
See if I watch it. I have no desire to finish the third season. I'm going to tell you all that right now. Like, from some of the things I've seen of it, and animation is just so bad.
Yeah, I need to get started on it.
But the first 2 seasons are really good. Third season, they changed animation studios, and usually I don't really care about that.
Right.
But I don't know. They just you saw the Meliodas image, right, where he's lying on the table,
I think so.
and he's got like the spiky feet,
Oh,
like a 5th grader drew it. It's like, you guys could have put a little more into the budget.
no, just crank it out. The weebs will buy it.
That, and then they started censoring the blood.
Oh yeah, I did that. I didn't know.
They're just white splatters, and
And the black holes.
that just looks like something else.
Yeah, that I didn't know.
It's like, you're doing just fine with blood. You could have left it in.
Wusses.
I think they're still doing the 4th season. It looks like it's an upgrade, but we'll see.
I think
But
you're gonna have to suck it up and do it.
Maybe if I finish the 3rd season. I'm not just going to watch it if I don't finish the 3rd season.
Gotcha.
I'm going to have to force myself to do it, though.
Yeah, just do it for the team, man. Just knock it out. You'll thank Aoyuki later.
I know the manga just came to an end.
Oh, really?
Like, it ended last week or something.
Wow.
It's been a while. It's supposed, from what I understand, spoilers for those who haven't read it. Meliodas and Elizabeth have a son, Tristan, and Ban and his girl have Lancelot. And since King Arthur is in the series, it's supposed to be they're going to be the knights for King Arthur.
Sure. We'll go.
In fact,
with
I heard they're already doing a spin-off with Tristan, so
let's go with that.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
I need to watch this for context, but okay. Take your
Yeah.
word for it.
Well, I mean, Merlin is one of the 7 deadly sins, so female Merlin.
Yeah, I know who Merlin is. Yeah. And I mean, yeah. It's gonna make a FGO joke, but I'll
You'll hold off.
yeah, I'll wait. Just know that the 7 Deadly Sins Merlin is more my type than the FGO run.
Yeah. I don't mind either. Like, I was still kind of hoping they would have shown Quetch get him in a hold at the end of the series. Cut that part out. Just mentioned, oh yeah, she said she would put you in a hold when she saw you. She actually does it. I'm telling you, in the game.
Yeah.
She actually does it.
Yeah.
And I know people were waiting for it because I would read some of the comments on other videos. Because, nobody comments on my videos. So I got to go elsewhere to see what other people are talking about. They were waiting for it.
And then it happens.
And it didn't happen. Which is fine. Whatever. He was scared.
Wuss. Giant wuss.
I think it's about it.
All right. Let's
This-
shut it down. Get out of here.
Yeah, it went from me just going on about how don't expect voting next time. My love for Amelia and Darkness.
You should talk too. There's this is a 2-man job, so I think that we have given Roman some assignments. So everyone, make sure to vote. Roman is going to organize his room and give you guys a room tour.
Again.
Yeah,
A new one, because there is some new stuff in here.
yeah.
I think that was my only real complaint about the Konosuba movie.
Which one?
Too much Megumin.
Oh,
Not enough
it
darkness.
was her story arc.
I said that too in my review. Was like, I know it was supposed to be about her and the village, but I wanted more darkness. But what we got was good, so I can't complain too much. But I would have liked more darkness.
All right, well, there you. That'll be for the next one, for the next season.
Hopefully, there's another season.
Oh yeah. I don't think they're gonna stop.
But yeah, So there's only. I'll try to get this up today so that there's actually time for people to hear this.
Okay.
Voting ends tomorrow.
Okay.
If you haven't voted, go and do it. So I don't just cut out voting altogether. If you're going to vote for something bad just to spite me for my love for Amelia and Darkness, go ahead and do it. I don't care. Your waifus are horrible.
There,
All right.
there you go. That's motivating. That's motivation. I'm gonna go make a new account just to vote for something terrible now. Make a new YouTube account. But yeah.
All right. So next time, who knows? I might be working again, but we'll still be doing this on our normal days.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see you guys in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
Stay safe. Don't continue to practice your social distancing.
Yep.
Find activities, learn a hobby, take up a trade, whatever you guys can do to help pass the time. Again, like we said earlier, don't let the fear and despair overwhelm you because there's plenty to do and plenty to get done. So use this opportunity to get it done, reflect, reassess, and execute.
Yep.
So and vote. Yeah. And hey, if you're really that passionate about it, go read Snowflake and Safe Space.
Yeah. Or
If
Gotham High.
Or Gotham High. If that's your cup of tea, go for it.
Or Children of the Atom.
Or Children of the Atom, yeah, go for it.
Whichever one you want.
Go for it. And then you'll come running back to Boku Hero.
The better one.
The better one. So,
all right. So, see you all talk to you all in 2 weeks.
All right, take it easy.
Bye.